You are not hidden. There's never been a moment you were forgotten. You are not hopeless. Though you have been broken, your innocence stolen. I hear you whisper underneath your breath. I hear your SOS, your SOS. I will send out an army to find you in the middle of the darkest night. It's true, I will rescue you. There is no distance that cannot be covered over and over. You're not defenseless. I'll be your shelter, I'll be your armor. I hear you whisper underneath your breath. I hear your SOS, your SOS. I will send out an army to find you in the middle of the darkest night. It's true, I will rescue you. I will never stop marching to reach you in the middle of the hardest fight. It's true, I will rescue you. I hear the whisper underneath your breath. I hear you whisper you have nothing left. I will send out an army to find you in the middle of the darkest night. It's true, I will rescue you. I will never stop marching to reach you in the middle of the hardest fight. It's true, I will rescue you. Oh, I will rescue you.
Hey, everybody. Hi, Benny.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining me. Thank you, everybody, for being here. There's a lot to talk about, for sure.
Yeah.
Lots going on. So we were going to talk about other things earlier today, but then things kind of took a turn, and everybody here, I'm pretty sure, is quite aware of what's been going on. Hunter ended up coming out and speaking today, and I'm going to thank Benny for everything he did that actually led to that taking place. Thank you, Benny, because whatever you did this morning, whatever you said, actually brought Hunter out of the bushes. And I think that the things that he has said are so important. Now, whether they're true or not is another story. Maybe the first time he spoke, it was true. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe this time it's true. And I don't know. And the first time was a lie. We just don't know, or maybe it's all a lie. So how are we to know? We are not. But definitely need to cover it. And I have everything all prepared, so it should be really easy to get through. And Benny and I went through and got all of the timestamps, and all the important things are in order so that we can go over them and it can be easy for everyone to understand and absorb. and hopefully we can cut through all this fat. So let me say hi to a few of you guys. Hey, Emergency Me, Don H, Beach Bum, Kelly Becker, CP, T. Bori, Sarisa, Turn the Page, Margaret Allen, Barry Meadows, and let's see, Jean Lewis, Eden, Trish, Cheesecake Mafia, Michelle, Kelly Becker, Sandy Jersey Girl, Criminology. Thank you guys for being here. Scout, hi. Ashley, hey. All right. So I'm going to, well, why don't I do this? I'll pull up a picture of Summer for a minute and we'll talk for a few. You have anything that you want to say before we get into all this, Benny? Because you actually did a lot today.
I first, I guess, a couple of prefaces. One of those might certainly be that I in no way, I want to reiterate what I had said earlier. I in no way wish any bad for anyone involved whatsoever. I think that sometimes potentially the message gets lost in the verbiage. Maybe people might agree with what I say. They just don't agree with how I say it. And then that becomes, sort of a social issue when you're here and you believe something, but you really kind of on the other side with, all of that. So I wish nothing but the best for all parties involved. At all. Bridget, at all. I'm not praying for anybody's downfall. What would be the point in that? I want the same success for me that I want for them, vice versa. So, and the other thing is it's sort of, again, it's, I touched on it yesterday, and I think even some today. And I think that one of the big takeaways for me was the parenting. And I had actually said it to Ericon when he came around earlier on my channel. I said, it's a strange dynamic because you have to hold out hope for Hunter, right? For H, you have to. He's a young man. He's traversing through some very tough situations, and he's sort of got, he's got a role model that if H makes it through. Mm-hmm. He'll end up sort of rearing his father, so to speak. He'll bring his father into a maturity. It's just the way it works. Because when you see the two of them get together, Andrew doesn't conform and meld into a different, younger version of his dad. You see much the opposite happen. You see Andrew sort of meld into his son. And in my opinion, that's just a tall tale sign that, maybe Andrew just doesn't know what to do. And I think that there's a lot of uncertainty. But anyhow, the preface that I don't wish a downfall on no one involved. And if there were downfalls, it's not something I'm going to celebrate. It's nothing like that. So I do hear that, like you said, that Allie seems to be doing better.
Yeah. So on today, Hunter said that she's moving her legs, her muscles are moving, her eyes are opening, she's doing better. So that's wonderful.
That is very, a blessing.
Very wonderful.
Mm-hmm. I don't pray that I'm navigating a situation right now with my mother. And so how could I want something bad for his mom and something good for my mom? It doesn't work that way, right? Like, I want good results, clean results for everybody. Let's be real about it.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Wish any harm on anybody. And I'll be very blunt and honest, and I may be a bit selfish about it. I feel that anybody who was around Summer leading up to her disappearance, I would like them to stay alive, all of them, for Summer, mostly, more than anything. And I don't want to see anything happen to anybody. The more people that fall off, the the less room there is for more answers, in my opinion. So it does make me a little bit nervous. Definitely would not wish ill on a single person. Yeah, Bridget, your exact thoughts too. Yeah. So it's very unsettling to hear, right? Because you're like, oh my gosh. While I don't wish harm on anybody, of course, I truly mean that with all my heart, that first and foremost, I would like to see everybody stay alive for the sake of this child. So
Absolutely. Can you hear me okay? I'll just turn the microphone.
Yeah, okay. I can hear you good.
And you know, again, you know, I get it. One of the things that I also want to preface is that sort of like some, I don't know how veiled necessarily they were, but kind of some threats and things that were sort of tossed around earlier, and they were in the way of weird invites to people's houses and things. Like I get it, because it's the way, you know, people that perceive themselves as being sort of alpha males, when they sort of run out of intellectual things to battle you with, they're going to come straight to that, well, come to my house shit, you know? And I want to just sort of also reaffirm that there is in no way going to be any back and forth whatsoever. Today was basically, I saw a crease in the armor. We'll call it that.
Yeah.
I just saw something. And so I just sort of, you know, pressed on it a little bit, and then you sort of seeing that today. And I did not keep account, but I think that Tiffany did. And it's, what is it, 18 or 19 discrepancies?
Yes, 19.
Yeah. I
have 19 screen recordings that we picked out. So there may be even more. And I miss something sometimes. Like I'll miss a couple things, and then I'll hear it the third, fourth, fifth time, and I hear something I missed, right? I'm like, how did I miss this? So there could be more than that. And maybe there probably is something else.
Bridget, that it is the way of the world.
Yeah.
You know, it's like threats of potential violence followed up with, you know, the best lawyers that can't seem to get you out of charge, that, you know what I'm saying, they found you guilty for. That's the other thing is, you know, there was so many things that were touched on today, that I hate to say it, that if it were someone, I guess that someone that was liked less than Hunter, to have came out and been this contradictive to most generally everything he's stated before, but in a rare fashion, not just in sparklers. I mean, I'm talking about M80s, the big stuff, Roman candles. Like, this is like, look at me, all of this stuff is different. And and I want to touch on very quickly, I knew that it was going to be disastrous, and that's sort of why I logged off. Andrew would like to tell you that it was because he threatened to strike me. I never even got to the part of his expose where he threatened to strike me. So I saw that it was something that I should probably just ease off of and let it go its way now, right? I had sort of manicured it into this thing, and now it's probably time to just let it go its course. And so I just backed up and then eased off the line. And I guess the rest is history, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that you did anything out of the ordinary today or yesterday. I think that I think it's very interesting the way that everything evolves and progresses, and how quickly this all came about just from last night when we heard that Allie was in the hospital. So,
I mean, thank goodness it's doing better. I mean,
from there it took off, and now it's turned into Hunter came right out today speaking for about an hour, I believe, and he really did say a lot. So
yeah, he really did. And to add to that, if I may,
sure,
I think that it's actually a stunning addition to that, Tracing Truth sort of back all of this, and really, her implication is let's not talk about the 18 or 19 discrepancies that a lot of us have spent, almost 3 years of our life following, being invested in, some even visiting, losing sleep over, all of the things. Let's not talk about all the discrepancies and the threats the boys laid out on the internet. Let's pay them for that, right? Let's as one of the figureheads, it's like you had Emma, and then you have Tracing Truth. And like when you share that, and it was what I had displayed in my original segment today, which was the oppositional defiance, sort of that oppositional stance. And that's what a lot of that is. You're going to see a lot of that. You're going to see people jump out and want to pay the wrong people for the wrong reasons, right? And then when the timing sort of fires off, you can see in the timing, it's like, you didn't do this in moment one, right? You're doing this after it's ramped up and the boy has made some threats and done some different things and smoked cigarettes inside with a pregnant girlfriend, all those things. He's done those. I mean, it's strange to me. I wish that the people that had the larger voices could really just get on the right side of the thing ethically, not even so much ethically, but morally. Morally is sort of that thing that you're going to do private to yourself. Like the way you judge yourself private to yourself is always going to be different than the way you judge yourself to yourself socially, right? I digress.
Emergency me. So HIPAA just applies to the hospital. It wouldn't apply here. HIPAA is only a hospital. It's a law set in place for hospitals. Hunter spoke on Allie's condition today. And that was that she was moving around and her eyes were opening. So she's doing better today than as far as,
Amen.
Yesterday goes. That was a bad day. I guess today she's doing much better. So, I'm really glad that, a lot of the things that we said were said last night also, because I think that might have something to do with the turn, of events today, but that's just my opinion. So, we'll get into some of these very important statements that were made by Hunter today. And again,
Discrepancies 101.
Yeah, like really, thank you, Benny, because if it hadn't been for your work, don't believe that this would have happened today. So, and who knows where this may lead for Summer's sake. We don't know what law enforcement knows, so God only knows what these types of statements will mean to them. And please, nobody call TBI and report. I have no doubt in my mind, 100%, I'm certain they know what is going on. Some people have been asking, have I reported? No, I have 100% surety they're fully aware of what has been said today.
Thank you.
Yeah, please don't inundate them. And let's hope that they can, maybe something very important will come from all of this today, I hope. And someone had asked about, so it was said, yes, that Summer had Burger King for lunch. Hunter said that it was Burger King that she had for lunch. Hey, Kevin B., I've been wondering where you are. Good to see you. I'm glad you're here. I was just asking about you a couple weeks ago. So I'm so glad to see you here. So he has said that she had eaten fries in particular. Sonic wasn't taken out. It wasn't even mentioned. So I'm thinking this is in addition to the first original slushies, right? Everybody's been asking for so long if Summer ate that day. A lot of people have been asking this for such a long time. It was said by Hunter today. Now, whether it's true or not, I don't know. I don't take anything he says for 100. And I'm not going to say that she ate fries for lunch because he said so. Do you know what I mean? But it was said by Hunter that Summer had fries from Burger King for lunch on June 15th. So where that is in my timestamps, I have no idea, but we'll get to them. So let me grab the stream and I will link the stream to you guys. I know that Andrew had said that he planned to put that stream on memberships only. I personally don't agree with that. It has everything to do with Summer. No one should have to pay to view that. And especially law enforcement should be able to access that without putting in a credit card. But yeah, no. So we're going to play the important things for you so that you don't have to pay to hear these very important things that were said.
Factabulous.
Just a second. Okay. Summer Wells case with Hunter. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave this on the screen like this. And let me find a flattering still frame of the both of them so that, we can.
Eden, I think that there's some very valuable information. Now, quite naturally, this is to say that the police don't know or do know about this information already. Who's
Right.
to say? I'm sure that they've been able to do the Cellbrite or something, something close to it or whatever, the digital extraction. But what you have to remember is that you're going to hear it in some of this garb today, that you're basically going to derive at the point where you understand that he did not ever get his phone back from the police. That's going to be important to remember.
Yeah, I agree, Benny. That's a great point. And Kelly Becker. So you asked. Now, this is the thing, and I don't know how we would. I always want to try to improve the way that we handle these situations, right? So all the speculating and everything about, I have no clue where this alleged Burger King lunch falls into in her day on the 15th, if it even happened, right? So could Burger King be at that part of the 2-hour timeline Allie and Hunter talk about? Possibly, but we have no idea because he didn't give a time. He didn't say, before we went to the swimming hole or when we left the swimming hole. It wasn't like that. It was just she ate fries from Burger King, pretty simply, and that was it. So we don't get much in terms of Hunter gives very short answers, which is actually good. He doesn't sit around and go on and on and on. He gives very short answers. So it was a pretty.
Yeah, and I actually have the Google Earth pulled up so as we could discuss a few of the different things. No. Just whenever you get to that point where we want to start talking about some of the dynamics that would have to happen in order to theorize this Burger King stop, because I think a lot of people are clearly the focal is they want some understanding on this Burger King stop, and there would be some issues that I could think of that pop right up immediately in terms of not even so much of when it was. I mean, that's a big thing, but that it happened at any point, period. Right. Yeah. There's going to be some things, there's going to be some dynamics that'll be pretty important to understand once we get to that point.
Awesome. Okay. So you have the map. So Benny's good with the maps too.
No, I'm no gray Hughes, but I'm decent. I'm decent.
So let's start with this one. Actually, I uploaded this one to my channel earlier today. And don't sell yourself short, Benny. I think you do a pretty good job.
Thanks, love.
All right. So let me do this. I'm going to pull this one up because I had uploaded it earlier, guys. I think you all probably have seen it. This was when Hunter said that he was there, wherever there is. It seems like a place to me, right? He says, I can only say I was there until 3:30. And this is very interesting. clip. So I put two together, and this here is the clip here. So this is the first one that I caught that I took issue with, because we all know that it's always been 2:30. It was stated by Allie. It was stated by Leslie. And it's always been 2:30 that they were alleged to have left Allison and Hunter's house. So today it turned into 3:30. And the original story was that Hunter had to go to the doctor's. Today it turned into the probation officer had to come and drug test him at 3:30, and he was very specific about 3:30.
Also, throwing in the dynamic also that maybe, this is one of the other things I wanted to preface, is that prefacing these things one time in terms of like the factuality of it, right? Like if it's clipped later on and you hear it, understand that it was prefaced in the beginning. We don't want to have to say all the little nooks and crannies and angles that it could be every time we move on to a different subject. It's that if any of this is true, these could be some of the dynamics in how it's changed, right? Saying that once. I digress.
You know what? Let me do this really quick. It's very funny you bring this up, because Benny, we just spoke. I'm going to take this down. There's so much, you guys, that is in my head. Reese Jam asked, what about the milk pick at 3:09? So hold on a second, because I actually sent these to Benny earlier. They were my messages with Ansley Daniel back in 2022. So let me grab these so that we can get this out of the way, because I do think it's so important. I'm going to pull these up really fast for you. And let's see. So,
man, there's some good comments in here right now.
Yeah. Do you want to read, Benny? Do you want to read anything while I'm sending these
sure,
to myself? Okay.
Sure. Panda Berry says, amazing. After all these years, Hunter's story changes. Now, I know that there's going to be some people that will probably, the first thing that hit me about that was all these years, because to someone like me, it was like, it has been all of these years, this little girl's been gone. I mean, as soon as you can call it years, it's all these years. This is a lot of time. Other people say she hasn't been gone all these years. There's kind of those two kinds of people in the community, right? In the way they think. And so I think that's a very strong comment to me. What was this other one? I do remember saying it's more about the and so let me finish my point about the prefacing, if this is true. I can understand why Hunter might say that he had a doctor's appointment. I mean, maybe he was going to go to the, I understand he doesn't want to come right on here and say he's got to go pee for probation. I mean, I understand it.
It wasn't even Hunter. It was Allie and Leslie. Yeah. So it would make even more sense for a mom or,
it would, to sort of dampen that blow, so to speak, right? Like to sort of take the sting off of that, and I guess, coming from higher up like that.
As long as they didn't lie to law enforcement, right?
Right. And I think that, hoping that law enforcement is light years ahead of us on this thing, that they do know all these things. I mean, I'm sure they do. But it's the fact that now the stories are so malleable after all this time. I don't know what was the thing that really, I know what the thing was on Andrew, right? I didn't expect for all of this to happen. And I have my own conclusions on why it happened like it did today. And I think, of course, everyone can see that it was nothing more than ego, right? It was just pure, unadulterated ego. And of course, some parenting in the bubble that I talked about earlier, where he's parenting in the bubble and he's sort of infusing, so to speak, this motivation for his son to come here and say these things. So, really low key, shouts out to Andrew, Real shit. Shouts out, bro. You the real MVP today, bro. Because I mean, you the one with the audience. So, you know, shouts out to Andrew for this is your own little contribution, bro. And you know, we appreciate that.
Okay. So right here, this was way back April 15th, 2022. I had sent the photo and video of Summer in the backseat of Candace Harris' truck to Ansley. That's just the first piece right there. Okay. And this is in response to Ree's jam. So I'm going to read to you what I wrote to her and what she wrote back so that you guys know, because I don't think that this has been shared since I shared it the first time a very long time ago. And I want to make sure that people who might be new to this community or may not have all of the facts are able to see this. I think it's very important. So I said, hi, Ansley. Now I worded this a very specific way for particular reasons, so bear with me. He said, hi, Ansley, quick question. I'm hoping you can clear up, and I'm sure you have received other messages regarding this. I want to make sure I have concise and correct information to report. In your last broadcast dated 4/13 about Summer Wells, you stated that the last known video of Summer was taken at the Warriors Path Horse Stables Pond. There is a 3:09 p.m. video courtesy of Candace Bly that was allegedly taken by Summer Wells' grandmother on accident during the car ride home from the horse pond and errands. Along with the video, there was a separate photo of Summer laying on the back seat. Hold on, let me take this down, get the next one. And that is the actual, there's a video and a photo, just so everybody knows. I know some people say that there is not, but there is. Laying on the back seat of Candace Harris' Silverado truck. In this video, Summer is seen laying on 2 gallons of milk, one vertical and one horizontal. This video was put out by Candace Bly and said to have been taken June 15, 2021 at 3:09 p.m., several hours after the horse pond video of Summer swimming at 12:21 p.m., which would mean the statement made that the horse pond video would be incorrect or no. Was it or wasn't it the last known video? I'm only searching for answers and think it's important to say thank you for all you've done for Summer. Maybe you aren't aware of the 3:09 p.m. video, which would be the last time Summer was recorded alive. Then we have here, and this is the last one. Grab it. According to her mother, she was wearing pink and blue sweatsuit. I will attach a video above this so you can see the video if not. I'm looking for clarification that this was not an error made on WJHL's part. Thank you for your attention on this matter, Tiffany. So she says, this is April 16th.
So professional. So professional.
Oh, thanks, Penny.
You're welcome.
So professional. She says, hi, Tiffany. Thanks for reaching out. We are not aware of another video. However, a photo, let me grab the next one. I'm so sorry when I have to do this to you guys. So she says, oops. Hi, Tiffany. Thanks for reaching out. We're not aware of another video. However, a photo that depicts what I believe you were describing was distributed to us by law enforcement the night she was missing. As mentioned several times in the report and online, our timeline of the day and that information is based on what was told to us by Candace Bly and Candace Harris in our interviews, not information distributed on YouTube. So I said, thank you very much. Now, this is just probably the most important part, I would say, because WJHL does not consider the 3:09 video or photo as a part of their timeline. I have my own opinion about. I think one of two things could be going on, but it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. All that matters is WJHL does not take that video or photo into consideration as a part of the timeline for summer. And that may be strategical that it's that way for them, or because it's actually really not a part of, right? So that's just my opinion, but those are very important. If you want to screenshot them, feel free. I have no problem with that. I really appreciate that she answered me back. So yeah, Jax, I think it's always kind of been in my mind too. And then I forgot to talk about it. So I'm really glad that brought it up. And then we can get into what we're going to do. But I did want to answer that for because when I have stuff like this in my possession, then I do want to share it. Even if I've shared it long ago, people should know even now. Ansley specifically said WJHL does not consider the video in the truck as a part of their timeline. So Alicia, the TBI and Hawkins County have, because of the photo. So the photo of Summer laying on the milk was the first photo ever put out by TBI on Twitter. So their Twitter post, the first ever photo was actually a phone taking a picture of another phone with that very photo on it of Summer. So that's why Ansley said she was aware of the photo because they had used it. That's what they had put out first ever by TBI on the Twitter post of theirs, was that photo of Summer laying on the milk. And I also think that might be why people were so hell-bent on, well, we've seen that photo before. It was on Candace's TikTok. I can assure you it was not. I was all over her TikTok. That milk jug photo was definitely not there, but it was the first photo they ever put out of her. So that may be why. Yeah, Alicia. Yep, it was and you can even see the glass on the phone. Like law enforcement had taken a photo of someone else's phone who was holding the phone in front of them or something. Do you know what I mean? So, okay. No, it's kind of off topic, but still important enough to address it. All right, let me grab this. Oh, this is the one. So we'll get into what Hunter said about 3:30. And you guys all remember, is there anyone here that doesn't remember that it was 2:30 always on all accounts? It was always 2:30 that Hunter was dropped off. I just want to make sure that everyone's on the same page and stuff. Hey, Rebecca. I'm wondering about 309 time and location. Who made those times and locations? Dick Dollar. So I can tell you it came directly from Candace. She had given it to Teresa at Unmasked. Teresa did, and if someone could drop criminality, she's over at criminality now. So she has another, a different channel now. And what happened was her and her co-host had talked to Candace. Candace had done a Q&A with them. I have those too. I was talking about this all with Benny earlier. That's so crazy. So it was a Q&A where Teresa asked Candace questions. Candace answered Teresa. She gave her also a photo of Summer in the swimming hole, and she was in the shade, like in the water, and her hands were out. She was very happy. So there was that photo, the Q&A, and that's where it all took place. So the 309 Dick Dollar came directly from Candace. It's in the Q&A questions, actually, and she answered Teresa as to the time. The time of that photo was 309. Yes, Candace was the source. She was also the source for correct timestamp of 1221 too, though, so keep that in mind. And 1221 was accurate for the swimming hole video. So I don't know. Yeah, it's always dropped off at 2:30. Cheesecake says if that video was really at 3:09 and the last video taken of Summer that day, Ellie and the media would have used it and said so. Well, we like to think so, Cheesecake, but I always kind of leave a little bit of room for what if the video could have really been from that day, but it might be very important to law enforcement and they haven't really been able to keep much close to their vest, and maybe they want to keep that close to the vest and they don't want it may be more useful to keep private. They don't have to, do you know what I mean? Like I would agree with you if I just leave room for them to keep things to themselves also, because I think it's likely that they could do that too. This is the last known video of Summer before she went missing, kind of. Yeah, so they used the one of her, the TikTok video that Candace had posted, the video of her and Hunter. But, oh, did I put the wrong one up? I did. But I would like to think so too, Cheesecake. But then I'm like, I'm not really sure. Do you know what I mean? Hey, Crystal. All right. Let me grab this here. I'm going to play this for you.
Hunter, do you think Candace was up to no good using you as a so-called alibi?
A so-called alibi. I can only say that I was there till 3:30. So I was only with him till 3:30. I don't get into politics. I don't do politics.
That ain't politics, kid. They just want to know, do you think that she was trying to use you as an alibi? Like,
no, I don't think so.
Now, finally had enough.
No, 3:30.
3:30. So, yeah, I always thought it was 2:30 that you had to be home, kid. Well, yet again, I'm also going off of half-baked bullshit, too.
Yeah, it was 3:30 because my probation officer had to come check down some drug test me.
I'm going to play it one more time for you guys, just so you can hear it twice. Hold on.
Hunter, do you think Candace was up to no good using you as a so-called alibi?
A so-called alibi. I can only say that I was there till 3:30. So I was only with him till 3:30. I don't get into politics. I don't do politics.
That ain't politics, kid. They just want to know, do you think that she was trying to use you as an alibi? Like,
no, I don't think so.
All right. Now, finally had enough.
No, 3:30.
3:30. So, yeah, I always thought it was 2:30 that you had to be home, kid. Well, yet again, I'm also going off of half-baked bullshit, too.
Yeah, it was 3:30 because my probation officer had to come check down some drug test me.
Okay. So I thought that was very important. As soon as he said 3:30, I was like, did he make an error? Did he accidentally say 3:30, but he meant 2:30? But no, he's very sure of himself that it was 3:30. So the time has actually been bumped forward a whole hour, which, so while we could probably go on and on for hours about all the things that could possibly change, and I don't want to do that because I want to really just give you guys everything that you can possibly take in and receive today in way of what was said. Maybe we could, Benny, we could even do like a live where we speculate and talk and all of those things too, because I know people probably want to talk all about them, but we'll never be able to get through all of the things that were said if I sit here and go through comments and talk about the what ifs and all of that. I will do like a couple, I'll just like pick a couple from the chat about this clip that I just played. let's see, Dick Dollar says 3 o'clock, leave Ben Hill, 3:09 at intersection, take pick, 3:28 at Hunter's house in Kingsport. So, right, Dick Dollar, but they weren't headed in that direction, right? So they were headed toward Ben Hill, not toward Kingsport. That would be I don't know. I think you're local to there. Am I wrong? You could let me know what you think. If the photo was at 3:09, was H still in the vehicle? Well, guys, remember, we just were talking about like 5 minutes ago. Ansley Daniel does not consider, nor does WJHL. The 3:09 video is a nothing burger to them. It's not a part of their timeline. So we can't use that as a marker for anything. Unfortunately, not here on my channel anyway. We can talk about it, we could take it into consideration, but we can't base any kind of timeline on the 3:09 video. I don't personally think it would be helpful when the news station will not include it or incorporate it to their timeline. And I know I cut it out a long time ago. Actually, when I spoke to her, I stopped relying on the 3:09 timestamp, which some people here might not know. I still consider it, don't get me wrong. And I still think it's possible it could have been that day, but we don't know for sure. He said his interview with McDonough was scripted by Chris. Shirley Hanco, I don't believe that's exactly what was said. I believe it was stated more so. Benny, you remember when I think it said that somebody said it. I don't know if it was, I can't remember who it was now, but it was that the interview with Chris McDonough seemed more scripted than the interview he did today with his dad. And I don't believe, and I just don't want like rumors to spread from here that it was a scripted interview, because I don't believe that's what was said at all. I think that it can be so easily taken out of context. So it seemed more scripted while he was sitting with Chris. Maybe we'll even hear it while I'm playing these timestamps and come across it too, and we figure it out. This interview was so random, Orange Queen says. I don't know how to say her name. O'Gain Queen? That's right, I hope. Sorry if I got it wrong. And yawning? Serious question. There was no yawning today, so maybe he wasn't tired, or maybe it could also be that he was more comfortable with his dad. I'm not sure. So here, let me just put this back up. Are you guys ready? Let's see. So here's the first one.
About the situation with the Summers kids.
Okay, that's fine.
People are actually,
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
do you remember what she was wearing the last time you seen her?
You gotta think. I've been out of juvenile and stuff like that. For my decisions, nothing to do with someone else. I was a dumb little kid. That's why I grew up. I had to grow up and man up.
Yeah, but listen, they want to know if you remember what she was wearing.
I have no idea. I can't remember today.
Did the cops ever give you back your phone?
They were supposed to, and then I just got a new one because there was no point.
What's going on, everybody?
So that is interesting to me, because he actually verifies they never did give his phone back, ever. And Benny, I know you've always kind of had opinions about the phones. Do you feel a certain way about Hunter's phone never being returned? Or no?
I do. I mean, I think that you heard that the Wells got their phones back. However, it was erased up to whatever time they said it was erased up to.
I
And
think 3:30 on. Was it 3:30?
was it 3:30
I
on?
believe so. Does anybody correct me if I'm wrong? I could have sworn that when Don spoke about it, he said that anything from 3:30 on was erased from their phones. Pretty sure it was 3:30.
And there you have
3:30?
it.
Okay.
That's interesting all in itself. I mean, it's in terms of the digital, the digital extraction. Also, where she went, how fast all that stuff. The phone will pick that stuff up too. So
I think it's extremely, I don't want to say telling, but I do think it's telling that the Wells got their phones back and Hunter did not.
I agree.
I'm not sure what that might mean, for the actual case, but I'm willing to bet it would mean something is there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
He said 3:30 on erased. Okay, so it was definitely 3:30. His lawyer, so Shirley Hanco says his lawyer told him not to talk anymore, so court must be getting case together. Now, Shirley Hanco, I wouldn't read too much into that because he said it as he was getting off the stream. It was, in my opinion, it's just my opinion, it very well may have told Hunter not to talk anymore. If he has a good lawyer, his lawyer would have told him beforehand not to do this, but I'm glad he did. I don't want anybody to prevent information from coming out when it could help Summer. So I'm going to be the first one to say I'm glad he didn't speak to his lawyer before he went on the live stream. But as he was getting off, it was boom, and he was gone. Like, he was already getting off the stream saying he was going to go see his mom in the ICU with a cold. You guys all know they don't accept you into intensive care units when you're sick, right? And please don't ever go into an intensive care unit while sick and try to pull the wool over anybody's eyes, because you could really kill somebody. So Hunter is sick with a cold and visiting the ICU. That's when he got off the stream saying that he wasn't going to talk about anything any further because his lawyer advised him not to say another word, basically. I don't know if I believe that. I think it was for show. There was a lot of threatening going on the stream, you guys.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, he was threatening Benny, trying to...
While inviting me at the same time, I didn't know which way to go.
Trying to get him to come to his front door, to his yard.
It's that no thanks, Doug stuff.
Yeah, and even, I mean, there were threats of, I'm going to get into it. It's really not good. I don't see anything good coming for Hunter with this situation, but
no, probably not. They're watching everything, and now he's threatening people, and he's got a gang, and he's in a gang. It's very interesting.
Yes, he said today that he was gang affiliated, and let's see. He was gang affiliated and that he doesn't bring it near his household. That was all. So he's, admitting to criminal behavior, just not in his house. So
organized criminal behavior.
Very organized, to be in a gang. And let's not forget. So Benny, thank you for saying that. Don Wells had made a Facebook post long ago where he had shared the photo of Hunter with his friends throwing up, their signs. I remember there was huge outrage over that, and people were very angry that Don had shared that. It ended up being removed from his Facebook, I believe, and I don't want to speak for him because I don't know. I believe he took it down. So Benny had shared that today. Hunter referenced that photo that Benny shared that I had given to him this morning. And I don't know what provoked all of the things today, but it was one of the very first things that Hunter spoke about on the stream was that photo. And I thought that
he was on trigger time today, wasn't he?
Yes, I thought it was important to note that
Yeah.
that very photo that made people so angry, particularly the Mulaney family and Allison, is something that upset Hunter today also. So very weird.
Yeah.
I'm just looking through the chat. Not
Welcome
Cosmic
to the
Hammer. Are
ether.
you being serious or are you joking? Hold on. No, he may be very serious. He said last week I seen Benny at my local Wings and Rings. He was getting a 12-piece garlic pepper and fried okra.
Yeah, that's
Did
how
you?
that's how I know it wasn't me, because I don't eat okra.
Oh, okay.
No.
All right. I didn't think you went to Wings and Rings, but I know you eat some
I love
crazy
some
fried
wings. They
food
sound
in
delicious.
the morning.
They sound delicious.
Why is everyone being so hush-hush about the neighbor Don? Hunter says was asked to leave the property the same day. Oh, no, that wasn't the neighbor Don. Laura Lee AF. He said Don is Candace's husband. See, this is I'm so glad we're doing this because we can nip in the bud all of the misinformation that's going to start flowing. What he said was, and I have it actually in my clips. I'll get to it. I think it's actually one of the last ones because it was toward the end. I was almost done listening. He said, and that was when they were discussing the man who was allegedly up on the hill and trying to touch little kids. That's when that whole conversation was incorporated. That gets really messy. And I think there's probably like 6 clips that I took about that whole scenario, and we're going to get into it. So please do stick around for sure. But it wasn't the neighbor. It was Don Wells he spoke of. Sorry, Benny.
No, you're good. Thank you very much.
No, were you going to try to say something?
No. I'm just agreeing with you. Like, this is all, I guess I really hadn't really just accepted the scope of everything, but now I see everyone firing off, and it's like, okay, this isn't just a random, this isn't just this random thing that just a few people that really been paying attention hard could understand. This is like widespread now, and it's like, this is not, I know this isn't the outcome that they were after. I know that much too. Well,
I don't know, because Andrew said you're going to get a lot of lashback. I told you, he's prepared for it, blah, 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 blah. No, but I really hope no one's going to attack Hunter. I don't think that's necessary at all. And nor do I condone that type of behavior. Please don't do that, of course.
Please don't.
Andrew's actually expecting people, I think, to attack Hunter. No, Andrew, we're really here to find answers for Summer. Nobody wants to attack your son. We just want to know the truth. And while you were over there never saying her name, we were over here saying her name every chance we got. So you have very different ideas for being here on YouTube. All right. Andrew has made it very clear. Certain times you're not allowed to say Summer's name in his chat. Her name is not welcome there. It's a rule he puts in his chat. But then an hour later, he'll go live with his son to talk about Summer, when an hour before, no one was allowed to speak her name in his chat. You see what I mean? So we have very different ideas, Andrew, of what we want from this experience, and covering things that matter to Summer. You have made it clear you're here for your son and not for
breasts. Sorry.
What? Outburst, yes.
Breasts. He's here for breasts.
He's here for his son.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, but like when you also want breasts and you say that publicly to people, like, you got to own that shit. Like, he's here for his son and for some breasts. So
I can't. I really cannot with him. And this is not an attack on either of them. It's very important. Andrew thinks people want to attack. No, you're going to get a lot of attention, though. And I think that it's important. This does get a lot of attention. That's why we're doing this. But all right, let's get to the next one because we've only done 2. Hold on. Let's see what I have here. So, hold on a minute. Which one? This one.
Okay, that's fine.
People are actually asking, do you remember what she was wearing the last time you saw her?
Oh, wait, that's.
Company so weed.
I played that one already. Hold on a minute. Okay.
I know. Company so weed. That's all I know.
All right. No, he has no clue where they went. He already stated that.
Well, I think I paused to talk to Benny right there. Hold on. Well, that was a blooper.
Oh, were you muted?
Am I muted?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, shit. Oh, you scared me. Okay. Not Cosmic Cam says, I thought it was Benny. I was in Hillside all weekend.
Nice.
Not
Sorry.
Cosmic Cam's cool. He's a pretty cool guy. Good to see you, Cosmic Cam. Why is, oh, yeah, so we can talk about that really quick. Bridget, why is anyone posting Hunter's Cash App and then saying not to leave anything judgmental? Yeah, okay. How do they not feel weird about this? Bridget,
Good question.
I only can say one thing. Hunter was one of the very last people to be with Summer on June 15th. She left his house and was never seen again. That's on whoever is giving money to Hunter. They have to live with themselves. They have to close their eyes and go to sleep at night while they come here the next day and say they're here for Summer Wells. So anybody lining the pockets of Hunter should definitely do a self-check like you would do a breast exam. Go look at yourself in the mirror and really take a good look at yourself, because this boy was last to see her too.
Laura Lee, I do agree with you, I guess 50% of the way. However, I can't go the whole distance of the field because if he was socially intellectual, if he was emotionally intellectual, he'd be able to see that his influence on his dad in the way that he can get his dad to sort of turn into a young 14-year-old that wants to follow an older 17-year-old. He might throttle himself back a little bit, but that's asking a lot of a teenager. It really is. So, there's a lot of dynamics that come into play. There really is. There's a lot of psychology that comes into play, and a lot of this stuff, when it clashes with the clout chase on the internet, is when it sort of becomes dangerous, right? Because it comes with this ego feed and validation for who Andrew thinks Andrew is to himself, not who he is to the rest of the world. I digress.
Was it this comment? This one here? You can't choose who your parents are. It's not Hunter's fault. His dad acts more like a friend than father.
Yeah.
I would probably piggyback off what Benny just said, and I will add this. Andrew's going to need to start actually being a father with the situation that we saw allegedly unfolding last night. I would really hope that the friend role calms down a little bit. I do understand why, he lives very far away. I don't think that's probably an easy thing, but he's going to have to at least start stashing away, $10 a week, $20 a month, something to make sure that when God forbid, one of his kids might need something, he's able to help. Okay. That's a huge deal, that you'd have to come to YouTube to say, hey, my kid's not able to eat. His girlfriend's pregnant. They're not eating. His sister's pregnant. She's not eating. There's no toilet paper in the house, things like that. I'm sorry, but he should have had those things there for his child available. Before being a friend. because, you know, your friends aren't going to buy your toilet paper for you. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't believe that they needed toilet paper or food, though. So I just want to make that clear also. I think that was bullshit. But it's just my opinion. What do I know, right?
Yeah.
Possibly, maybe they did.
You're not a mom. You're not a mom to a teenager.
No, not at all. And I've never been without toilet paper, so I don't know. How do you really make sense of this? I just find it very hard to believe that this is seriously the situation. That's all. I don't believe it. Thank you, Belle Nessa. I appreciate that. Putting that in my chat. And also, you guys.
Ciggies were there.
What is it?
Cigarettes were available, though.
Yeah, thank you. Before really quick that you said about the cigarettes, because I'm going to say also about they have all the things they need, like vapes, cigarettes, everything that is not a necessity. But the food, no toilet paper. We got vapes and cigarettes, so you can't exactly nourish yourself with cigarettes and vapes. And
Yeah.
you can't wipe yourself with those things either. So you're going to have to make those types of decisions, especially being a new dad. Those are the types of things now Hunter is going to have to learn. And Andrew could be a great role model for Hunter.
Yeah, he could be like, boy, go outside and smoke with that pregnant girl with twins. They say he's having twins. I don't know if that's true. Why you smoking in the house, bro, with twins?
And you already know that those two babies are going to be born right into a smoker's house. Yeah. Right into the smoke they're going to go.
It doesn't stop.
It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Two brand new babies are going to be welcomed into the world and go home into a house filled with smoke. And I have very strong feelings about that, and I'm not going to even say what they are. So anyhow,
and I'm a smoker. I don't smoke in the house.
I'm a smoker also. I don't smoke in mine either. Well, I don't regularly smoke in my house. It has to be like a very special occasion that I'm going to smoke in the house. Like it's going to be me here for about a week all by myself. I don't ever expose anyone in my household to cigarette smoke. Like that's not fair to those in your house. And I don't want my things to be ruined.
Fair enough.
Because it does damage things. But the babies are far more important than my furniture, I'd say, though, right? Or anybody's furniture. It's the babies. You know, Benny just made a really excellent point. And those are things that where, who was it a few minutes ago? What was her name, Benny? You just said answered her. She had said about being a friend or a dad. That's the kind of stuff that Andrew could say, hey, Hunter, you know, why don't you really step outside? You know, you
use all the foul language. You could threaten people with gang stuff. You can do all that stuff, but just smoke outside, bro. Like do something in the light side of things. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. My Insane World says, why hasn't anyone contacted the Child Protection Agency? I'm not sure who child agencies would be called on or what for. Are you talking about last night with no food in the toilet paper? I absolutely agree. There should never be any kind of situation like that where there's kids in a household and there's no food or that's absolutely child services would need to be contacted. And the very same thing went through many people's minds last night.
Like he just like, you know, it's hard. I don't get caught up, period. I heard him calling me a dirtbag and a bunch of other things that I felt like, you know, when he goes to those weird places, you know, I feel like it's complete deflection, right? It's just, he's projecting who he is. It's that weird internet stuff. Some people don't succumb to the weird internet anomalies and inadequacies. Other people do. And I don't get caught up on a dude that, you know, removes his own teeth, you know what I'm saying? And is parenting terribly for the whole web to see. Like, I could never get caught up in Andrew calling me a dirtbag. I just couldn't, right? Like,
Mhm.
you know, like about I've paid his phone bill before. I heard someone in here, or read someone in here say I've raised money for respectively everyone. I probably have to a degree, right? Like my time in Tennessee, and then I came back. I didn't really understand. I was just sort of navigating through it, right? And then, but to look back at it, it certainly shaped things in a way.
Mhm.
And it did. There was a lot of people that reaped the benefits from me sharing. You know what I mean? A lot of people, and that's why I no longer like now. These days, it's different. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's different.
Be real. So you're asking for, I answered you in the chat, but I'm going to make sure everybody hears me. Hunter's Cash App is not going to be shared in my chat, nor on my channel, or ever will be. You will not see that. And I'm sorry you feel bad for his girlfriend, but they're not our responsibility. I'm worried about Summer, and I would like for people to start putting her first. So can you please put Summer before Hunter's girlfriend, please?
I mean, Hunter
First,
won't even put his girlfriend first and smoke outside.
yeah, I'm sure they have all of the government handouts of probably possibly known to man. And I have no doubt they're all reaping the benefits of your tax dollars already. Okay, so
And when I say that, it's in the most respectfully, it's
very
in the most
much.
respectful way. Like, man, go outside, bro. It's not hard to do, but then with a certain intellect in the world, you know what that makes them do? That makes them smoke more in the house.
They should,
It's
listen.
very strange the way
They
this
shouldn't
internet
be
affects
having
people.
two babies if they shouldn't be having children at all if they can't afford toilet paper. So let's just keep it real here and cut the shit, because truly think about what you're actually saying. And the people, and I'm speaking to the people that are watching from the bushes who have been dropping the Cash App, not to be real in particular. I'm speaking to those who know better, like, for instance, Chasing Truth. Do you take issue with anything that you have heard in the last 24 hours? Where is Summer for you in your mind? Is she in the
1 second, I'll be
forefront
right
at
back.
all? All she's worried about is Hunter's Cash App. Okay, so, there's all kinds of creators who are plugging this boy's Cash App. Why? For what? He didn't even live with Allie. He was fine. He was feeding himself just fine. He was using toiletries just fine up until yesterday. What is the need for his Cash App to be inundating this entire community when he was one of the very last people to see Summer? Allie and Hunter are more of a suspect, in my opinion, than Jody Sue Brown. I said this yesterday. Think about this really hard. It was not Jody standing outside the truck asking for Candace to roll down the window, right? It was Allie. It was not Jody's child in the back seat with Summer. It was Allie's child.
It wasn't
So,
Hunter that said that he had to go to a doctor's appointment.
there you go. This is what I'm saying. Like, I've given Jody a ration of shit throughout the last several years. I have rode her ass. But you know what? Allison is more of a suspect, in my opinion, than Jody is. At this point in time, I can say that, and no, I'm actually not far off at all, because it wasn't Jody's house Summer was at that morning. It was Allison's house. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to really think about it in your mind, like, holy shit, like, hold up.
Where she changed, Summer changed into her bathing suit in the bathroom,
she
but
changed into her bathing suit.
Allie was asleep on the floor in the bathroom, the same bathroom, right?
Passed out on the floor, Hunter said. Passed out on the floor. So you got to really just even sometimes, and that was me reevaluating my own self last night in my kitchen. I'm like, what the fuck? Everybody in this community knows, like, Jody Sue has taken a terrible amount of harassment, truly. And it's been pretty bad for her. It hasn't been for Allie. And that's who really actually was multiple times around summer that day. So I don't know. It's just a comparison, but something to think about, I guess. Let me get this next one. Hold on.
You gotta mature at a young age when your mom's not doing well.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
Yes.
I've been telling them.
I don't know if they know the situation about her aneurysms. Like 5 years ago, she had 4 in her head, 2 popped. She wasn't supposed to make it then, but God.
So I had no idea that Allie has already been in this situation before. So the photo that Andrew had showed last night, which I am very much against. I can't believe he showed that photo of her in the hospital. I am definitely not okay with that. But this has actually been a situation where I didn't know she was hospitalized for 2 brain aneurysms and pulled through. And this is something that's happened before where she had to be hospitalized for something very serious. So Hunter's explaining she's in very poor health. Okay, listen. I'll play that part just a little bit back.
I don't think they know the situation about her aneurysms. Like 5 years ago, she had 4 in her head, 2 popped. She wasn't supposed to make it then, but God gave her a second chance.
I don't talk about all that, bro. Question: was Candace on the phone with anybody else other than Don that day?
Some dude.
Huh?
She was on the phone with Don with some dude.
Now listen, he says that Candace was on the phone with Don and some dude. Let me play it back.
Question: was Candace on the phone with anybody else other than Don that day?
Some dude. Huh? She was on the phone with Don with some dude.
So it's
that I guess was just some random dude was walking around her house.
Some random dude was walking around her house, he says. Now, there's a reason being for these. Hunter's story changes a lot from what we initially heard on the interview room.
So some random fuckstick that was hanging around the property.
Yeah, he was just letting her know that he kicked her off. They kicked him off the property.
All right.
So Hunter's saying that Don called Candace to let her know he had kicked him off the property. You guys, and keep in mind, this is all hearsay. This is not fact. There's no proof backing this up. There was no proof backing this up the first time it was spoken about.
I've spoken with Don also twice or 3 times today about some of these things. And they're going to have a telephone call, I think, at some point tonight about
That's so
some of
good,
these
Benny.
things. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm glad. Yeah, I think that's absolutely necessary at this point in time. He for sure, definitely, I think that conversation should happen. Because this here actually, and I can make a compilation. Maybe I can make a compilation of these, and I can make them really orderly for you guys so that they're easy to find, and I can break these down really well for you and label them. They're all individually important, but I believe the next couple are all about this or somewhat like every other one. So they bounce around a little bit, but then they come back to it. These are important. So follow them. It's gonna get a little confusing because of how contradictory Hunter is in his statements. Hold on.
Yeah, he was just letting her know that he kicked her off. They kicked him off the property.
All right. Oh, you talking about Benny Skis ball? I didn't even tell him that. Was that the it's done also was on the property touching children?
Yeah.
Listen again. Hold on.
Yeah.
Was that the Andy that texted it's done also was on and also was on the property touching children?
Yeah.
So Andrew asks him, was the Andy he spoke about, Jody's ex, was he the one on the property touching children? Hunter said, yeah. Okay.
I don't know about touching kids on the property. I've never seen it.
Then he says, I don't know about touching kids on the property. I never seen it. Okay. So Andrew asks him, was it Andy Bernard? He didn't say Bernard, but he said the neighbor, Andy. Yes. Then he says immediately after, well, I don't know about touching children because I never seen it. But we all remember what Hunter said on the interview room, that Candace had gotten a phone call from Don while she was in the drive-thru at Walgreens. This is what his statement was. And that Don had told Candace that there was a strange guy up there trying to touch little kids. So do you see here? There's three things. Let me play this back just so because I don't want anybody to get it misconstrued. And then there kind of is a lot to take in and then remember. So hold on.
It's done also. Oh, you're talking about Benny's ball? I didn't even tell him that.
Sorry, Benny.
Was that the it's done also was on and also was on the property touching children?
Yeah. I don't know about touching kids on the property. I've never seen it.
What do you know about
that? Yeah.
So he says, you know about that text, right? It wasn't a text. It was a phone call, right? That's what was always said by Hunter, that it was a phone call. Andrew refers to it as a text. Hunter says, yeah, it was supposed to be a phone call, though. So now it's turned into a text. This makes no sense. To say there's 19 discrepancies, no, there's actually probably more than that. There's probably 40 or 50 because these clips are loaded with all kinds of contradictory statements compared to what he had said previous.
It's like he's telling a completely different story than he's ever told.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Ever. Like, bro, hold on, Jack. What the hell are you doing, man?
Mm-hmm.
You're not sticking to the game plan. Game plan is if you're not involved in this shit, then the facts don't change. But now you're changing a whole bunch of shit, and we'll get into that as it progresses. But like, even when for instance, if you add a Burger King trip into it, we're going to show you a little bit later on what that actually means from Anywhere by Warrior. It means you potentially going in front of tons of extra cameras, which again, if the police already know these things, like the stop to Burger King, and we want to pray they do, I'm sure they do. They know about these things, or he's lying, right? But it starts to change the way we as sleuthers look at it, because when you start thinking about things like, oh, he takes the call at the drive-thru at the Walgreens, so you start thinking about the Walgreens, where they are spatially in time in the continuum and all that stuff, right? But now when you try to factor in French fries for summer from Burger King at some point, well, that's a little bit of a jaunt over there, which means you inviting other people to know about this, yada yada yada. So,
agree, Benny.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna.
Things change. It's just not like, oh, we went to Burger King, and now all of a sudden, like as sleuthers, you're like, well, how does this fit into the time frame? Because with a new stop, like, Burger King or who knows whatever else, if they always say, oh, it just was a couple of minutes and it was a 10-minute stop for a couple of minutes, Well, then you make a couple of those here and there, and all of a sudden you didn't add it up to 30 minutes or an hour. And now the young dude, he has to adjust his time. He's got to adjust it ahead or back, depending on how you look at it. So he's giving himself an extra hour. And you know, that's right in the bracket, right? You start getting outside of 60 minutes, you start getting to 90 minutes, and they're like, okay, hold on, man, where was you at all this time? How, you know, I mean, it's already strange that almost 3 years later, you've got this 60-minute discrepancy. And everyone has just a little bit of butter on the times, right? If it, whether it's to how Don got from 45 minutes away in 80 miles an hour, how Andy was in the back or he was over here. Anybody that arrived or had something to do with mechanizing that day seems to have some issues with their times. You've even got, you know, it being said to Candace, well, hey, you know, you left the property twice that day. And she'll say, well, that's what they say. You know, whether she was or she wasn't is really to anyone that's not going to be a juror is inconsequential, right? It's just a interesting detail to all of this. Did she leave? Didn't she? Right? Some of those things I think that they have to be kept quiet. Maybe there's a reason why Burger King hasn't been talked about. Now all of a sudden this boy is talking about Burger King. Well, you got to imagine all the things that come with the Burger King trip, though. All the different cameras, all the different people they may see or may not see, all those things. You have to take them into account. I digress. Are you there?
Yep.
Okay.
Right here. All right, I'm going to keep playing this. I was listening to you.
Sorry.
Don't be sorry.
Man, he called Candace about the house. These things are coming in too fast. Like,
Hold on.
I've never seen it.
But you know about that, right?
Yeah. No, Don was gone, man. He called Candace about the man walking around the house. These things,
So he's reading a comment, and I'll tell you what he said. So Don called Candace when there was a man walking around the house. That's what Hunter just said. It's very hard to hear. He's mumbling a little bit. And they're reading from the chat, partially reading comments, not reading comments, and answering comments. It's very confusing. You have to really pay attention, unfortunately. But usually, you know, Andrew, a word to the wise, you put the comments right up here on the screen so people can see what you're answering.
Yeah, bet them, buddy.
These things are coming in too fast. I can't read.
These need to get slowed down a little. I'm even.
No, panties. Who's panties? You're not silenced. What did you have to say? I didn't see it.
She has no questions. She has no questions for you. She's just happy to see your face.
Oh, well, thank you.
I don't have a wish list for him right now.
They're asking for a wish list for Hunter. You know, it's all cash apps, wish lists, this, that, and the other, and they're here for handouts, you guys. Don't be fooled. So.
Oh, many will be.
Oh, they are, and
it's the oppositionals, right? It's those oppositional stances, yeah.
And you'll see the people who will absolutely do it just despite Benny and I or anybody that they don't like.
Bad,
and
right?
It actually is so disrespectful to Summer. So, in their hate or anger toward one of us or both of us or whatever, they don't care that it could possibly adversely affect Summer.
Yeah, we won't talk about all these glaring contradictions that we all can see.
Nope.
Everyone's talking about them in the discussion area before the video even starts, right? I mean, it's wide open. But now you're not gonna talk about any of those things and how they affect what you think you know, right? That's what all this is.
I wonder when anybody will take notice of what actually all was said by Hunter today on the stream of Andrews. Is anybody going to give a fuck, or are they just gonna keep posting Hunter's Cash App? Does anybody regret it? That's what I would want to know. So from last night until today, I want to know, and I think it would be a beautiful thing. And I would be so supportive of anybody who said, I am so sorry for posting Hunter's Cash App. I feel really stupid after doing that when I listened to him today and heard all of these things. I can't believe I actually really fell for that crap last night. Like, I think it would be a wonderful thing for people to just, I would absolutely own that and say, shit, I fucked up. You know, I think I really fucked up there and I shouldn't have done that. But you won't see that. They're going to keep dropping it. And if, God forbid, Benny covered this morning, when would it actually kick off? Like the actual donations to the Cash App, when would those really kick off? Because yesterday it was for toilet paper and food. But when, you know, the casket situation comes along, or cremation situation came along, do you know what a huge expense that would be? And also extra charges for extra, is it anybody over 300 pounds is extra charge for cremation? Caskets that are larger are more expensive. Do you understand? So those would be things later down the road that they would be faced with and would need to come here and ask for also. So it's almost like, well, are you going to pick food and toiletries, or are you going to pick the burial expenses and things like that? These are very real. This is a very real conversation that I'm having. It might sound like rude, but it's serious because now, and I don't think that Allie's going anywhere, hopefully not, but when would it end actually? Because I think it would only get worse and they would need more and more and more.
You've got those people, even like it's going to be a group of people inside of the group of people that have donated already, that also have donated maybe to Summer's reward or whatever they did. Maybe in the good light or in the bad light. And then you're going to have people out here that's on the oppositional defiance who have never donated anything to Summer Wells, only to Andrew, or two people oppositionally sturdied up. You know what I mean? Like there's going to be those people that, you know, like Smiley, she's going to prop this up. People like that, you know. People that are.
Oh yeah, she's all over the she's all over sharing the Cash App for Hunter, and this is a really big deal for her. She's very involved in making sure she puts that out there, and I almost have to wonder if that is because she truly wants to help them. Or,
I mean, it's a net too. You know what I mean? Each of these people will net some money, some kind of way.
Well, they also will think they might be able to get, this is the thing, you guys, think about all these things as too. If I share Hunter's Cash App, then maybe he'll come talk to me, right? Which means more views.
It's a clout chase.
More money. Yes. Yeah. And I think it's actually pitiful that not a single person yesterday outside of this group here gave a single flying fuck. Didn't mention Summer's name once. Like, wait a minute, hold up. We don't know where she is or what happened. And everybody is a suspect. You'll also hear Hunter say he was never a suspect in Summer's case.
Then why did they even take his phone at all? Because there's other people that also aren't suspects. They didn't take their phone and never give it back. What the fuck are you talking about, Jack? Quit that shit. They took your phone and kept it long enough you just forgot about it and went and got a new one. That's what he said. Almost verbatim.
Just got a new one.
Yeah.
No big deal. They had plenty of money for a new phone. No, didn't need to go pick that phone up. Just gonna buy a new one. But now look at this. It's all bullshit, people. Wake up. Wake up.
It really is.
It's 2024. Summer's been missing since 2021.
He said she had
found. Why give any money to someone who was lost?
He said yesterday or today at some point, this man said that woman had a 72-hour toe tag on. That's what he said.
Yes, he did.
Now all of a sudden she's getting better. I mean, thank God.
Better.
But you could just see the spin.
To a much better day today, he said.
And that is what we want. I would love for Allie to have a better day. I would hate for Andrew to keep making it seem like it's grimmer than it actually is. Right? I mean, let's just be real. I mean, this whole thing started out with 8 minutes, no oxygen, and now remarkable recoveries today. Like, God is that great. But it's not for Andrew to curate the story of that. It's not for Andrew to do that. And it's also not for him to platform his child to come on here and use gangs and intimidation. Come on, man. I'm intimidated as shit.
And I think it's also important for people to take into consideration that they are giving cash apps to someone who is fully admitting today on a live with his dad while talking about Summer, precious Summer, that he's in a gang and affiliated with a gang. And you guys all just gave your money to a gang member. How you like that?
It's cool.
You should tell your families the next time you sit down around a dinner table with them. Too bad the holidays already passed. You could have shared that with them.
Yeah, it's a lot of different things that they could have done, and you know, you just, again, it's that parenting in a bubble kind of thing. You know, I hate to see it. You know, it's strange that the people that go looking for other people's life that gets put on the internet, you know, defiantly, you have those people going to search for, you know, like somebody to go look for my personal business on the internet. Meanwhile, somebody like Andrew, he's just putting it out there. I heard his daughter say some deplorable things today. I won't even repeat them, but they're just like,
Benny, no, I think
whoa.
that people miss a lot because they don't watch Andrew. They don't know what's said. You don't have to hold back from saying anything. That please don't feel that you can't say something here, because I want people to be informed and I want them to know what's actually going on. A lot of people don't watch him.
Made a comment, like, to the best of my understanding, I didn't go back and listen to it over and over and over and over and over and over. But as I understand it, the little girl says something about my daddy should have flushed me down a toilet. I'm talking about a little girl.
Yes.
The little girl that had lice.
That was today. I remember.
That was today. This little girl said that, and I'm like, damn, that's stiff.
She
if
said
that's
that
the way
when
she
Benny
feels,
was
that's the way
born.
she feels. I mean, who am I to tell this little girl what she feels? But if she, you know, if she's like that, if she's built like that, well, man, God bless you. But now what you're seeing is all of this again is parenting, right? You've got all these children on the internet fucking up, Andrew, like massively, homie. Like, this has become such a huge eyesore, and then your language and all of those things, like, bro, you are fucking second to none in a lot of things. In a lot of things, bro. So, I digress.
Don't digress, because I just walked outside. I have a smoke.
Oh, okay.
It's raining here too, so you might hear it's raining pretty hard. We're getting a storm, actually.
Absolutely, Richard. The government will do an awful lot for you. That's for sure. But you know, in terms of like what it's supposed to look like, I mean, like widespread. Imagine the Salvation Army in front of the Walmart, dinging the bell. The lady's got the, you know what I'm saying? They got the bucket behind them, and just, you know, just God forbid you ask one of those people, "Hey, man, where does this money actually go?" And they're going to stop and they're going to invite you over to their house for some gang violence. And they're going to, you know, have their little ones come on with just recovering from lice outbreak that happened publicly online after a sewage pipe overflow at Andrew's house and rained down sewage on his family. Like, it's the worst set of circumstances ever. But guess what, man? You don't have that godly spirit to you. You don't even have a spirit to you that even makes 90% of the people want to help, bro. Like, really help you. You know what I'm saying? There's some people here that could change your circumstance. And like, I think honestly, if these things that are true that are happening to you, if they're actually factually happening to you, man, there's somebody here that would change your circumstance. Hopefully somebody can and will.
Well, I think that people are changing his circumstance. I think they changed his circumstance a lot lately, and
Yeah, I agree with that.
thankful for it.
Yeah, I agree. He definitely is. Even if, you know, I don't know what it is. We heard Ericon. He's like, man, I don't know, maybe a few $100s a month he gets from the YouTube, maybe 3,000-4,000 since he's been here. I think that's probably pretty.
I think that's a low ball, but
yeah, I think that's pretty moderated. You know, that's a moderate, probably to low number, because this dude, he's come from a few different angles. He's merchandised some stuff, and it's just like, bro, what sort of ego dent? Like when I tried to imagine what must have happened to Andrew in his life, I don't know if it's genetic. I don't know if it's foodborne, if it's environmental in some way. I don't know what the affliction is, but something about that dude, it makes him sort of a dangerous component. One of the more dangerous components in the Summer Wells saga. That's my opinion. This is not Tiffany's opinion. My opinion is he's one of the more dangerous, probably not actually culpable, but tries to put himself in compromising situations. I want to say he tries to put himself there. He may just organically just be that, inept that he just falls into all these weird, troublesome scenarios online. But there's when you look at the longevity of it, you look at the longevity of what Andrew has done here, and when you try to assume, which I hate to do for people on the internet, you try to assume you think the trajectory might be. And it's the trajectory for him clearly. I think I saw it when somebody just told him he had some indictments on the way, and he believed it.
Right. I remember that.
He believed it.
That. Yeah.
He actually believed it.
That's Benny, that's what actually brought a lot of this on with
absolutely
the Mama Bear stuff. And that Mama Bear will be addressed. Not on this stream, because this stream is too important to really delve into that mess, and Ghost as well, this Ghost woman. I'm going to deal with that situation at a later date. This takes precedence over that. But Mama Bear,
I mean, it's phenomenal. It's
She was just over here.
It's pretty phenomenal. Like that he actually would believe. Now, this is one thing you have to factor in, that he would be indicted with zero police contact prior to an indictment. Like, it's hard for me to understand that he would actually believe. Like, so when you try to get a range, when you try to put a range and a perspective on, like, what is he actually involved in that maybe he doesn't remember, or is he just involved in a lot of things, or is he, because somebody just told him, hey man, you got some indictments on the way. I heard through the back door, secret squirrel style, like you got some stuff on the way, and this fool comes to the internet believing this shit. Like, that's phenomenal. Like, you know what I mean? Like, before he talked to an attorney, before he did anything else, he came to the internet and told Mama Bear and them that he has some indictments on the way. And then when they regurgitated his information, right, then sort of, I
almost wonder how much of that, Benny, was even real, and I feel that Mama Bear is very much a part of his grift.
I think that is sort of the flammable component to it.
Yeah,
right? I mean,
it's almost like, can we even believe what happened?
Absolutely, because a portion of what you're looking at is Andrew by himself.
Yep.
And then you've got the portion when Andrew's got the Miss Dippy, when he's got Mama Bear, when he's got the full backing, he's got the full cartridge. He goes from being 30 rounds dangerous to 60 rounds dangerous. And that is sort of what you see. You see it kind of, pardon me, cohesing right now, or it's being cohesive. It's gelling together, right? You can see it's coming back together. I think that Mama Bear was sort of the one that reached out the olive branch. Now I don't want to go too deep into that. I know you said that, but she's sort of reaching out the olive branch by even doing all of this.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because she knows what those two parents have been involved in with that boy, right? Like to even get back involved in it. And I talked to her, and I think I even said it. This is the way I said it to her, is like, I was just hoping that you wasn't back in the grasp of that bullshit.
Oh,
And-
I think
she
she's
is.
a part of it.
Yeah,
I don't
she's-
even
she's a
think
part
she's
of
in
it.
the grasp of it. I think she's a part of it.
I
And
agree.
I think
I
she
agree.
showed that last night immediately. And
Even if
all
she's
it
just his
took,
media manager, she's just the media manager.
all it took was
You know?
one comment. And all I said, and I was very kind when I went in there, all I said was, Summer is still missing. I do not agree with sharing Hunter's Cash App. He was one of the last people to see her. And it was immediate. She called me a scammer, said that I paid for Andy Bernard's wedding, and that I fed Don and Candace's drug and alcohol habit. And I was floored. I was just floored all the way.
Today he told his son, he said, I snitched on my ex and sent her to prison, which never happened. And then he said that I set a homeboy up and he got murdered, which never happened.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We can show a long trail of evidence of things that he's been involved in, even if he's not actually been involved in it. This dude will tell you he's been involved in robberies, arsons. Now, there's those people on here that have been involved in certain things in their life, but you can see that they've rose above it, right? If they've intellectualized themselves and they're moving above all of that stuff. This dude doesn't exhibit anything that in my opinion, it's only my opinion, this dude is not exhibiting any redemptive qualities.
Mm-hmm.
He's like a hungry hippo game. Just anything that's out there, he just got his mouth open, his arms just scooping. It's just like a little, a single cell organism, a little amoeba, a little amioba.
Amioba. That's what I call it. It's a funny amioba.
I've been waiting for a place to use that. The amioba.
Amioba.
Yeah,
All right, let's get back to this.
All right, let's do it.
This what you call it here. Now bear with me, because I may have started recording one and shut it off or whatever. I don't know. There might be a couple in here that mean nothing. Hold on.
The most pathetic specimen on earth.
You like that? Yeah.
Yeah, yes, he did say that the boys were with Don that day.
When Summer asleep, when the hold on.
They want to know was Summer asleep when you got dropped off.
Now hold on one second, if we can. I want to just step back about 6 seconds.
Sure.
For him to have made some comments now, and this is almost Pandrew trying to get him to reaffirm that the boys were with Don.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Trying to get him to reaffirm that. Now, the interesting thing is this is sort of problematic because you've got you correct me if I'm wrong, right? Don't you have him saying, and this is, I know the answer to the question. You got him already saying that Don called and said he ran somebody off the property, right?
Right.
Okay. Now you also have him saying
Don doesn't know anything about that, though. He's always said, I have no idea what anybody's talking about when it comes to this person on the property.
And I believe he doesn't. But then you add to it that even in the same breath, almost, the young man, what he's saying is that the boys were with Don.
Mm-hmm.
Well, where's Don? Well, Don took the boys.
I guess
to work
that would
with
mean
him that
Don
day.
had a whole what? 3 alibis all
Correct.
day.
But none of the this is the thing.
Weird.
None of the changes that these people try to put on Don and where he was or where he wasn't, none of these things these people say on the internet hold any bearing on what they've done or what they're going to do in terms of Don's involvement or non-involvement, right? Just because this boy says, well, in one part of his statement, he's going to tell you, right, that the boys were at work with Don. Then he's going to make a completely contradictory statement and try to make it seem like Don was there at the house and not at work. Now, there is the very real plausibility that Don, and I'm saying theoretically, all right? I know I got to preface it. Somebody will say, oh, look, Benny just told on Don. It's not what's happening. I'm saying there's the plausibility, theoretically, that Don was at work for a portion of the day and then at home for a portion of the day. And I'm not saying, again, that's what happened, but you have clearly a change in scenery in H's mind. There's a change in scenery for Don, right? Don's at work with the boys, which means they are not at home unattended. They're with Don. And then Don being back at home, chasing people off the property who are trying to touch the kids. Now, when you even go so far as to think about kids, let's imagine you line all, and I hate to even do this, but think about the shit.
No, go ahead, Benny. No,
think about this shit. You line all those kids up, all 4 of the Wells kids, you line them up. And then you go, rawr. Which ones do you think are going to be the fastest? Keep it real. What's going to be the 2 fastest?
I would say, well, I
could be a toss-up, right? It really
I would
could be a
say
toss-up.
it would be the tiniest ones, because the smaller children do run fast, but I don't know what their abilities are in that way.
But you're getting the idea that they're saying kids.
Yeah.
They're not saying, oh, well, he just was out here messing with the oldest or the middle or the youngest.
Trying to touch kids. Yeah.
Trying to touch the kids. So then you got to go a little bit deeper and say, okay, well, which 2 kids, what 2 children fall in the probability of being the ones H is putting under the microscope from this groper? Because that's what you're talking about. I mean, if you're trying to touch kids, that is a sexual offense. It's groping. It's inappropriate sexual contact. So we're just running people off. We're not hurting them. We're not calling the police on them. We're just running them off. That's it. Nothing deeper. Not anything that we see that is going to be, sort of a precursor to something cataclysmic in a couple of hours or a few hours, or did it even happen, right? But you're never going to get the scenario here on the internet, not like this. Maybe through court TV, if there's ever a trial and these people are forced to tell the truth, whoever they are. You're never going to get the truth. You're not going to be able to say, okay, we've got the components that you added today, which are completely contradictory to anything you've ever said before. Let me ask you these rebuttal questions really quick. It's not going to be that ever. You're not going to get that, right? Anytime this boy has talked on the internet, basically, he's contradicted himself, right? Contradicted himself. I mean, he can't even hold, like his daddy's trying to tell him, man, hey, hold on, are you sure it wasn't 2:30? Because you were saying 2:30. He's like, no, it was 3:30.
He tried to give him, he
tried to give it back to him, and he wouldn't take it from him.
Yeah.
Andrew tried to give him the tidbit. He tried to act like a gangster dad would. Be like, hey, boy, you're fucking the story up, right?
Yep.
I'm here letting you measure it all out and tell them that you wasn't involved in it. But why are you telling these folks that you're not involved in none of this shit?
Yeah.
You're telling us how involved you probably are in our own minds. We're not police. But to the web sleuth community, you're like, bro, hold on. You just said at least 18 or 19 things, but maybe even 30 or 40 or 50 things that were like you can't tell the same story. Let's just say it this way. You are not capable at this point of telling the story that you told then. If
the
we ask
stories are all of these, they're
all fucked up now.
They're really, and they're very, I even had trouble myself. I had to go back actually.
But let me tell you this. Let me add to it really quick. When you parent this in a bubble, do you know how? Let me tell you right now how Andrew's going to react when we're done with all this and he reacts to it. Let me tell you what he's going to do. He's going to pat his son on the back for confusing a community.
Oh, absolutely. And I think he'll rub it in people's faces.
Oh, yeah. He's going to be like, yeah, my boy fucked y'all up. That's what he's going to do. Yeah. Okay. So what, he lied? I've been telling him to lie this whole time.
It's not going to help Hunter when the TBI comes knocking. And that isn't funny, right? So, I mean, I'd imagine he's not doing his son any favors.
He actually isn't. You're right.
Yeah.
But that's the way he's going to react to it. He's going to react
Agree.
to it like he does any other time that he gets caught in a lie.
Right.
He's going to laugh it off and shrug
Like,
it
haha,
off.
joke's on you type of, and we've seen that before. When people don't like the response, they'll turn around and say, well, I was just trolling you. Right.
Trolling now is like is AKA like mount, a mountainous lie. That's what AK trolling is. When people get caught lying now, they're just like, I was trolling you. Nah, bro. Troll with the truth. How about that? Can you do that? No, because they can't tell the story the same way twice. Why can't now? When you look back at like the leading contributing causes to what makes stories change in terms of the investigative process, right? Like, what are some of the contributing factors to why people's story changes over time? Well, one of the main ones is just, how long they can remember things. Their memory. Can you remember? Short term, long term. You start playing with both of those things when you get out far enough. And I guess you're probably really playing with the short term and the long term just on a shorter index earlier in the situation, right? But now you definitely at almost 3 years, people are expected to organically, even first degree witnesses, they're expected to start forgetting the integral details of these things, like by nature. So when you have someone that maybe lied all in the beginning, and then their memory of their lie, that's what you're seeing right now, in my opinion. You're seeing the defabrication, right? This is the reverse design of the things he said in the beginning. He cannot tell the same story twice, right? So why can't he tell the same story twice? Probably because he didn't tell a truthful story in the beginning. I mean, it doesn't matter how you lead up to this, whether it's the side door, the back door, the front door. The matter at hand is that didn't tell the truth, right? Didn't tell the truth in the beginning, and now that is not serving him well when he continues to try to talk about these things. He's got to threaten people with lawyers. He's got to threaten them with all sorts of things when he's caught up in his discrepancies. Right? Like we're not the ones that has all the discrepancies. He is.
Oh, we have them right here. Wait till you guys hear some of the things that, I mean, this is bad.
It is
definitely not even be live right now talking about this. I'm floored by what has come out of this boy's mouth. Really,
because for instance, like the Burger King situation, right? For anyone that's really sleuthed this thing and mapped it out like in their head, where the route they took and all of that stuff, from Warriors up to the hippie house to the Sonic and now all of a sudden, bam, you got this Burger King stop, right? So during a certain phase of this whole thing, if you would have known about the Burger King ride, what would people have done?
That one actually is. I think it's more toward the end of these. The Burger King one has to be like one. I think it's like the third to the last.
But you start to think, like, at a certain phase in this thing, people were like, okay, it needs to be the side of the road needs to be searched all through this area because she went this way during this time. That's how it was. Now you find out about this whole new trip and you're like, okay, when you try to iron that into the fabric of what you know to be a loose timeline, right? Or at least a sequence of stops. Let's call it that. We had a sequence of stops, right? And they were sort of organic in the way they laid on the road, leaving the Warriors Path area, right? So you had the hippie house, you had the Sonic, so on and so forth, right? Now, then you have way across the way, you've got this trip now to Burger King. If it's true, how does that iron in? How does that change or move other things, right? Now, if you're not here for that level of sleuth, I understand, but a lot of us are. So when things like this happen and you start to try to render, well, when you twist it this way, what does it say? What does it do, right? It's the Rubik's Cube. You're trying to figure it out. And these changes, they shift things, right? I mean, we have all of these time discrepancies already. We got all these time discrepancies. Now all of a sudden we got this whole brand new trip allegedly. And I don't want to go too far into my thoughts about it all, but it's problematic. I digress.
All right. I'm gonna rewind this one, the one that we were playing before, just to go back like 20 seconds. I'm just gonna play it over again. Hold on one sec. Here. So here's this one. See if I put it up. Let's see.
Saying that the boys were with Don that day. Do like that.
Okay, pause right there. I know it's again so quick, but there you cut out what I was just saying previously, was that you have this theoretical idea that maybe, I mean, Don is going to come home at some point that day. He was there at some point already too. Left, it's called going to work and then coming home. Just don't know what time that actually was, like exactly. But that cuts it off. That puts the noose on it right there, so to speak, because what he's saying is, yes, the boys were with him all day at work. Well, how can they be there and be back here at this time, which we know also theoretically that through the movements in the digital extraction doesn't seem to be a whole lot of issues with that and them passing a polygraph, because you also got to factor that in every time too. It's not anything you're going to use in a course setting, but it will absolutely direct the flow of the investigation or the direction in which they're going. Like, they're not going to continue to pound and pound and pound on somebody even though they've passed a polygraph, right? They may ask you to test again. If everything is what it is, you're gonna pass, and it just, somebody's gonna look into it before it gets too far into that, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
these folks have passed a polygraph, which means within reason, theoretically, that their digital extractions are going to match what they said, which will then lead more credence to this and this and this. And now here it is almost 3 years later. And no one who the internet swears is the suspect has been arrested. Got to remember that. Got to keep track of. So however long you've been on the internet watching these cases, or however many cases you subscribe to, what is the internet's record? It's horrid. The internet's record of what they think happened is usually horrid. Now, they shine sometimes, but it's usually pretty bad. I digress.
Okay. Now, this is what Benny was just referring to right here.
Yes.
Saying that the boys were with Don that day. Do like that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hold on one sec.
Saying that the boys were with Don that day.
It's hard to, he mumbles and then he says, yeah, right? So
it's like he says like something like that, or
it's stressful because he says yes and no sometimes in the same. It's almost like he doesn't understand what he's being asked, or he understands completely what he's being asked, but he's almost unsure of himself even. Okay.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
Here, let me play. I'm going to play this one all, I think it's 13 seconds or something.
Elisa, and that's, like, there was a time where I didn't either put a lot of stock in the polygraph, but you just, like, we're not the professionals. They are, right? They didn't handle enough of these that, within reason, they're experts for a reason. So I get you too. I understand. Unfortunately,
as it stands now, and it is what it is, people do need to accept Don and Candace Wells are in the free world. They are walking around just like all of us. They have access to the internet. They have access to the grocery store. They are allowed to go near schools. They're allowed to be just like we are. They have not been charged with a single thing. Now, put the polygraph aside and just take that. It's been 2.5 years. There are not even charges for any kind of abuse or neglect with
And,
their
and,
with
and
their
there's statutes
boy.
of limitations on those things too. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that I know what they are, but
I don't know what
a
the
lot of
statute
things are
is.
2 years. A lot of
Yeah, but
statutes of
they're
limitations are 2
actually,
years, but not murder and kidnapping and all those things. Those have different limitations. Some
it
have no
isn't us
limitation.
that's in charge of that. You know, Benny's absolutely right. It's not up to us. And I'm not going to crucify the Wells, and I'm not going to put them on trial here on my channel for years and years and years and attack them. I'm just not. So it's not acceptable to me when we don't know what happened to Summer. There's no answers. We don't know if they were targeted, if they were not. Whatever opinion you may have is totally fine to have an opinion here. You can believe whatever. Sorry, Benny.
No, no.
I don't mind anyone at all being pro or against Don or Candace or one or the other. It's and when we come to YouTube and you're into true crime, and we all have different opinions, we all have different theories, we all have different speculations and such, and I do want everyone to be able to just speak freely in here, whether they have the same ideas or not. Yeah. What we're dealing with here now too is, and I think it's important that people are not so easily distracted all the time by something Don may have said or something Candace may have said. When you've got something like this going on, do you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, so put aside for the day. You don't have to forget anything, but just put it to the side for just a day and take into consideration what you're seeing from other people who were around Summer, who were in their direct circle and in communication with them in their physical realm. These are people that, now remember when Don went to, he was on News Nation with Brian Enton, and he had said, I believe that Candace may have picked the wrong friends. Who do you think he may be talking about? Is it possible that Allie could be one of those people? I remember the posts that Benny had shared one earlier. These are the things that I see, and I'm like, damn, they don't even take in. There are parts of this community that will not even begin to think about taking into consideration anything other than the guilt of one person or two people specifically, three people specifically. Like, do any of these people open their minds at any point whatsoever? Right. It took me a little while. It took me over a year to even consider trafficking as a scenario. I would not even, I didn't want to go near it. I felt Summer was far too young. There's a bunch of reasons, right? And my own personal reasons too.
It's like the Mad Max reaction, though, right? I mean, that's sort of what we're looking at, right?
It is, but Benny, after 2.5 years, how is it possible that everybody is so just dead set on one specific? There is no even taking into consideration, not even to say that. And I'm not saying that people have to put as it's not happened or it's not the way they feel. I'm just saying, like, even for 5 minutes to take into consideration that something else could have happened, they won't even go there.
No, they won't. And that's, I guess, the frustrating part that I share with many people.
Because the answers could lie right there. And it could be such a disservice to Summer to only focus on one specific person every single day.
Right. And a lot of people, looked at those case studies I was doing. Like tens of thousands of people looked at those case studies. And those case studies were building up what it might take. Like what this offender, whoever this offender could be, what this offender might have to possess in order to pull off a crime like this. And I mean, I tell you, the sort of behaviors you start to get out of asking just asking questions. You asking relative questions to a relative person that's in a community online, and then you start to get threats of violence and gang affiliation and things of that nature, I think that that's a big, huge red flag. I mean, and that's just boiling down the scenario to one part, and that's, you know, gang affiliation, right? Like,
I think it comes right down to this. We have to be open to everything or we can miss something. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
But more than anything, do you think law enforcement is just going to focus on one person and never take into consideration anything else? Do you think they'd be, you know, do they think they'd be successful at all? How many times have you guys watched Dateline and seen a cop say, I did get far too invested in this one person and it actually was at the detriment of the victim? It happens a lot, actually. So
yeah, I think that with pending situations he's trying to navigate as well, like, you know, when it comes to the threats of violence and different things, you got to be very careful with that shit.
Yeah.
You got to be very, very careful of what you're going to say on the internet, because it's a far cry from telling somebody to go fuck themselves to you know, talking about gangs and stuff. And homemade, like all that gang stuff that you subscribing to, it's just young boys going to jail and shit or getting shot. Like, if you want to be like real gangster shit, like go back about 40 years.
I think it would be gangster for him to get, you know, himself together and do the right thing for his family. He's going to have some babies here, and that's gangster as fuck to do, you know, the adult
daddy
thing,
shit.
get your shit together and be a great dad and a great husband or boyfriend, whatever, you know, and that's the way.
Because you're going to mess around and run into one of these hillbillies that's scared to fist fight you, bro. And somebody it's going to be the worst, bro. Like, you're going to have to clean up your act now, bro, because what you're doing is you're inviting weird shit to the space where you about to have some children there, bro.
Yeah.
That isn't the kind of behavior. You don't want people like you just got ran inside a month ago by somebody with a shotgun over your mom's house. Like, you want to be holed up inside with two babies? Or you know, I could see you probably trying to feel like you're Scarface or something. You gonna watch out. You gonna walk out with an empty baby bottle.
I really do feel, and throughout this, I feel Andrew was pumping him up a lot.
He was.
Like, it's almost as if he, and I don't.
Almost as if he didn't give a fuck if his son went to jail because the DA was watching this shit or something.
Right.
And like, he wouldn't care because it's not many keys for a day.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, it's good. I feel like he might be projecting onto his son what he feels, you know, with you. But here, let's move ahead. Let's go ahead. And I do think he's doing that, Benny. I think that's what he did today with Hunter. I think he was trying to, you know, get his son to act like a badass toward you so they could be together as a team, you know, and it's like a little power team.
Well, they told on him in tandem.
Yeah.
In tandem.
Yeah. All right. Here's this one. I don't remember if this is the one I was playing before or not. Hold on.
You got to mature at a young age when your mom's not doing.
No, that was the first one.
Well, yeah.
Did I play that? Hold on.
So that I guess was just some random dude was walking.
Yeah, it did.
Saying that the boys were with Don that day.
Okay, hold on. So this one's only 13 seconds. Let's just play the whole thing and we'll see what.
Cool.
Hold on.
Say that the boys were with Don that day.
No, it's a minute and 13 seconds. Sorry.
Deal like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, he did say that the boys were with Don that day.
When summer sleep when the hold on.
They want to know what summer sleep when you got dropped off.
Yeah.
All right.
Hunter, why did your grandma say you were distraught and rocking back and forth at the camp?
This is so he's reading as Hunter, why did your grandma say that you were rocking back and forth when you returned from the swimming hole that day? Okay, he's mumbler, so I'm making it easy for you guys.
Swimming. Y'all ever get like quakes from like drinking too much?
Oh,
that's what it is.
He's blaming this. Now, keep in mind, he says Candace only bought him one twisted tea. Now, personally, I don't believe that, but he could have drank 6 and he's not going to get the quakes. So let's be for real, son. Okay, listen.
You had to shake from drinking.
Yeah, that's what it was.
He doesn't remember.
Yeah, that's what it was.
This was a very concerning statement now made by her when she said that he returned, he was shaking, he was not himself. Okay, he has an explanation, and that is alcohol.
And so, but what's odd is why did anyone even talk about why he was shaking if it had nothing to do with Summer's case?
I don't know why they spoke about it at all.
I know, that's weird
Because
shit.
personally, if you were, say you were the grandfather or grandmother of Hunter, would you be sitting around saying that? No. Hell no.
I don't know. That's right. Like
You
if it
keep
doesn't
your
have
mouth
anything to do
shut.
with that, then you're trying to make the boy seem like he's, like he's Johnny Do Good.
Witnessed something, or
Yeah, if he's not, if he's not a suspect, he's a witness.
encourage something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here.
Yeah, no, that's a good point right there, Precious Moments. So
Sorry.
now all of a sudden he was drinking twisted tea, had to go see his probation officer, had to pee, right? And was quaking at the same time.
Yeah, I don't believe that at all.
Come on,
I think
bro.
it's total bullshit.
Come on, bro.
Hold
Quit
on.
that.
There's a little pause here in between.
Just because you don't drink, kid. And that's the good.
Yeah, I don't really do like that. I don't drink no more. People try to be like, nope.
People are also wondering, what do you think happened to Summer?
To be honest, what I think is, like they said there was some dude walking around the property. I think that she went off wandering and just got snatched up.
So he says that he thinks the Summer went off wandering and got snatched up because of the guy that was wandering the property. Now
Which would have been Andy, right? By what he said today.
He said it was today. Now,
Right.
Personally, I don't know why that would just come out now, that Andy Bernard would be the one that they were referencing as the creepy guy up on the hill.
I mean, that's what you're to believe now, right? That's what you're to believe. You're to believe now that this man has told the police, this boy has told the police that he believes the person that took Summer is Andy. That's what I mean. That's what
exactly
you're to believe.
What he's saying. That is exactly what Hunter is
what
saying.
he's saying.
And he goes on further here in the next couple he goes on about it. Actually, it took a little while for him to get through it. They even circled back to it. So yeah, it is really.
I mean, that's the boiled down version of it, right? The boiled down version is that all of this. Now, this is the thing. This is sort of coincides with the mystique, if you will, of the interview room holding back the name. Right now, it was all this weird commotion once the unedited version came out, and now you've got this other, this other connotation loosely. I mean, I don't think he even understands what he's saying right now, to be honest with you.
I don't either.
I don't get the feeling that he's actually trying to say that it's Andy Bernard is the one that took Summer. But then guess what? You've got Andy saying that he's seen the little girl's remains and stuff. You know what I mean? So it's like, hold on. Is this like loosely pulling? Like, what are we to believe as the people just watching? Look at these defunct people there, right? Like, honestly. You know what I mean? Like, piece all the pieces together about the components you think understand fully what you know up to this point. What he's saying is that Andy Bernard had something to do with Summer being abducted. But the issue with that is Andy's already said out loud to his daughter that he's seen the child remains.
I know that.
I mean, what are you to do?
But I don't personally, I know everybody has their own opinions about that. I don't believe that's what Andy said. I remember it to be that Jody's daughter was talking about Andy being really cruel to her. And it wasn't that he said he saw her remains. He was saying that it's so hard to even explain because he was
something about a dream or a daydream or whatever.
no,
like,
I think it was him
I've heard a
saying
couple of
in a cruel way to her, like to taunt her is the way it was what I took away from when Jody's daughter spoke on this, and it was actually on Penny's channel. I remember this very well because a lot of people do say that Andy said he saw Summer's remains. I don't remember it that way at all. What I took away from it, but a lot of people do. Many other people do. I do not. I remember her explaining that Andy was being really cruel. And during that, he was basically saying that Summer was out there somewhere and just being disgusting about it, right? Like to basically instill some kind of like uncomfortability in his daughter. Now that's just what I only Gina, will I dissect Candace's discrepancies? I spent a very long time in the beginning of Summer's case going over the things that I thought were important. I went over every single interview of Don and Candace, and I don't believe I found any discrepancies of Candace anywhere as of late. If there's something you think I should see, you can email it to me. I'll be happy to look at it, but I don't know. If you missed my early lives in the beginning, they're all up. I put them back up the other day, so you can feel free to check them out. You might find some things that you're longing for right now have been done many moons ago.
Alicia, I mean, respectfully, in terms of trying to omit one statement or the other, whether it's today's or the first ones, you're going to use the very first statement as the roadmap, right? You're going to use that in which you'll measure everything else you know. Now, it's not the actual first statement, right? It's the first statement he told the internet. You don't actually know what
was
he told
it,
the
Benny?
police.
I'm sorry. What was it?
Lisa said to stop going by CM's interviews. They fed him a script. Now, they may have. That's the thing. They may have.
Stop
However,
going. What is she? So sorry. What is she?
She's basically like, I don't want to put words in her mouth, but the feeling I'm getting is that she feels like today is probably more the flow of something resembling the truth. And the stuff before was CM was more not the truth. And so it's sort of to disregard. Now, yes, if you're limited and you can't hold a bunch of information, then I guess disregard the first one. However,
I don't think anybody should disregard it. I don't think anybody should disregard
I don't either.
it. Like
that's the roadmap. Like you only know there's discrepancies because of what he said in the first interview, right?
But even more so, it's important. I don't mean to cut you off.
No. There's a lot of truck going by.
I think it's important you can't leave it out because it actually happened, right? So while what Hunter says, or anyone says for that matter, may not be the truth, it's a fact that it was said. It's a fact that we heard it, right? So it actually happened.
I mean, it's on the record. Right. And once it's on the record on the internet, you know, with the power of the internet now, I mean, that what you say on the internet can also be used against you in a court of law. Let's be very real.
Yeah, all of it can. Yep, all of it.
It can be. It can.
Yeah. All right, here, let me play this one.
I agree with that. It does feel like they're throwing each other under the bus and then pulling each other out. And they're like, oh, you poor victim. It's like earlier today, Andrew
and
all of them over there. Like Andrew, I was telling you, Andrew was streaming one of the lives I had just done. He was streaming it, and I just went in and privated it and then went over and took a look, and it said stream unavailable. Well, he says to everybody in there, oh, Benny struck me. Benny struck. I did not strike him. I just made the video private so he couldn't stream it anymore because I knew he hadn't recorded. It was too early. So I'm like, you know, like he just will lie to the people. And my point is to go, oh, he struck me. That's to victimize yourself in front of other people for this ongoing effort to make all of y'all look like these victims that deserve a financial coddling, right? Let's put them back together emotionally with some money. Let's do that. Okay, fair enough. I digress.
So I'm just noticing in the chat, people are all right, and I don't want anybody to get upset. Everybody just, kind of keep your cool with this. I think people are probably going to be very stressed out over this just in general. I know I was last night very upset. Today, I was just really taken back by what I heard. So naturally, emotions are going to run high. We all have different opinions. Everyone can have a different opinion. I don't want anybody in the chat to, get frustrated or upset because they might not like, I don't know what I'm saying or what Benny's saying or someone in the chat or whatever. Everybody is free to have their own opinions. And let's all just truly have our own opinions and be cool about it. I just want everybody to be able to exist here and not get too emotional over shit. All right. Because we're not done. And I have a whole bunch of these clips and there's a lot here and it's going to get worse. So just hang tight. Okay. Here.
Question, was Candace on the phone with anybody else other than Don that day?
Some dude. She was on the phone with Don with some dude. So that I guess was just some random dude was walking around her house.
Some random fuck takedown.
Yeah, he was just letting her know that he kicked her off. They kicked him off the property.
Oh, you talking about Benny Steve's ball?
I played this one. Hold on a minute. I must have gone back and recorded it over. I wonder why. Hold on. Let me see something. Hold on.
Oh, she went. Question, was Candace?
All right.
I just want to know if when you see your mom again, if you'll give her some love. Or
oh yeah, I always give her love. It's just hard to see her like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, he did say that the boys were with Don that day.
So Hunter goes to answer this question. Andrew's answering for him. That's also a little bit strange to me. Hunter's reading the questions. He's about to answer, and Andrew's blurting out. And I don't like that at all because I want to hear what Hunter is saying, right?
Yeah.
He's actually reading a question about Summer, and Andrew is cutting him off. Annoying as fuck.
Say that the boys were with Don that day.
Was Summer asleep when the... Whoa, hold on.
They want to know, was Summer asleep when you got dropped off?
Yeah.
All right.
Hunter, why did your grandma say you were distraught and rocking back and forth at the get over swimming? Y'all ever get...
Don't drink it.
I lost where I was, Benny, last time when I stopped it.
I don't really do like that. I don't drink no more. People try to be like...
People are also wondering.
I don't even remember which one.
It was right in there.
It was this one?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm losing track here.
What do you think happened to Summer?
Right here.
Okay.
To be honest, what I think is, they said there was some dude walking around the property. I think that she went off wandering and just got snatched up.
Well, they did. Well, I mean, I don't really know, but the press release stated they had no evidence of kidnapping or foul play. So.
No evidence of an abduction.
But when they're the same friends, they said nothing was off the table.
Hunter, knowing the whales and what you saw, I know you were. I mean, I feel like that can be done more. That's it.
Listen, this was all. Do you feel that Summer may have accidentally gotten into Grant's medication? Summer was asleep. Do you think that she may have gotten into her grandma's meds?
I was
Well, yeah, they want to know. Do you think that Summer may have gotten into her grandma's medications?
I don't think so. They had that put up.
He said that grandma kept her meds put up, which I would imagine that means kept up high, possibly. So he says, no, I think they kept those, put those up.
For him.
I mean, but fair enough. There would have been some meds around at, you know, after they picked her up from the hospital, feasibly, you know.
Mm-hmm. Maybe,
So,
I mean, it should be in a, they should be in a pill bottle, and it shouldn't
You
be
think.
easy to open too, you know. Hopefully not.
No, not thrown off, like taking off the property.
Yeah.
No, not thrown off, like I don't think so. They had that put up.
All right. For him.
And I really apologize. I don't know if his voice does this to anybody else, but it's piercing in my brain. This is torture to listen to again. Andrew is so hyped.
No, not thrown off, like taking off the property.
The swimming. What do you? At the swimming hole.
You said what?
At the swimming hole. What do you think? How long did she go under for?
I mean, she went under like a little kid would.
Oh, all right. So a normal.
He says she went under like a little kid would. And I'm gonna elaborate more. Hold on. Here in this situation is I don't like this, just because of what we already have been privy to here online with the going under water situation.
So typical.
She was mad because she fucked up her leg.
Oh.
She said, "What was G-Mon so mad about that? Did you see that stain?" I don't pay attention to clothes.
Was their clothes often stained?
No, they have a washer and dryer.
Well, I don't mean not stains or stains, bro.
I've never seen them, so grandma.
Oh, so they're trying to do.
Yeah, they're already there.
Oh, all right, good.
Question: what was the guy named Don?
Okay, so right here, someone had asked earlier, what was the guy named? And he says Don, Candace's husband. Okay. Who was it that was in here? I can't remember who had said that it was the neighbor. It's on the tip of my tongue. It was in the very beginning of the stream. This is the clip. So this is whoever it was, and I apologize, I don't remember. I can see your avatar in my head, just not your name. But this is the one. This one's for you, because she had thought this was about Don, the neighbor. They had said, why is everyone being so tight-lipped about Don, the neighbor? It wasn't neighbor. It was this right here.
What am I doing? What Hunter wants?
Right here.
Question: what was the guy named Don? Her husband.
What am I doing? What Hunter wants?
No, I don't know what mid she has. Hey, H. What's that say?
Hey, good to see ya. Good luck in the future. Wishing you well.
Hey, Tiffany,
Yes.
look at Ricky Hinkle right here. He's got a couple of comments real quick.
Okay.
Not sure what
Ricky, no one touch him. No one touch him. Please don't. Hold on. Is it just these two, Benny, or are there more?
Yeah, that's just the two I see.
Okay, so let me highlight these. Why is Hunter now trying to give them my alibi with the creepy guy on the property trying to touch kids more so now than he was? And the next one says, because I set up the creepy guy on the property. Go to channel. I set up the creepy guy on the property when they fill in the meds, so it was already pre-set up. Ricky Hinkle, what do you mean? What are you talking about? You set up what? Give me a sec. Let me click on, we're gonna take a walk over to Ricky Hinkle's, and I'm gonna take this down. We're gonna pop this up and check it out. Check it out.
Why clone VPN is
Hey!
Ricky?
No one bullies Dano but me! You can teleport! That's it! You done!
Interesting. Is that a child?
It usually is, ain't it?
Oh.
Ain't it, man?
Why clone VPN is
Hey!
Ricky?
No one bullies Dano but me! You can teleport! That's it! You done!
So strange. You know, these weird accounts come in and they do say strange things. I do have the link. I saved it. We have that video. Ricky, you could just let him hang out. I don't know if they
Welcome, Ricky.
say those strange things because I set up the creepy guy on the property when they fill in the med, so it was already pre-set up. Not my alibi, people. It came out wrong. Oh, it was an accident? Okay. Sorry about that then. I don't know what the video was. I'm just trying to check out who you were because I didn't know why you'd set up an alibi. Okay. So that was just an error? Not me. They had it set up from the get-go when they were getting the meds, not. So, Ricky, here in my chat, if you'd be so kind, when you're speculating, I'm sorry, apologize for that. When you're speculating, just make sure to write, I think, or I believe it's possible, and just don't write it as a fact, because someone may be in my chat who will say that this is a fact because it was stated here. Some people run with whatever they see. So I don't mean to be, rude or anything. I just want to ask that if it's an opinion, just state that it's an opinion so no one takes it as a fact and runs with it and says, oh, Ricky said that's what happened. So if it's an opinion, just say it's an opinion. And then that's all I ask. Thanks for letting us know that was an accident. I'm talking instead of typing. Okay, no problem. I think he just typed his idea wrong. Okay, I got nervous. I was like, well, let me just put these on the screen and grab the link and see what's over there. Thanks. Okay. Where were we? Hold on.
Wishing you well.
Listen, well, too. Common cold, not the flu. I got checked yesterday.
He got checked yesterday. This is what I was talking about earlier. This doesn't have anything to do with summer. This has to do with the fact that Hunter's saying he has a cold and he was in the ICU around very compromised patients. So, and allegedly Allie has or had untreated pneumonia. I don't know if that's exactly what's going on with her that they said, but for him to be in the ICU with a common cold is not acceptable or allowed. And he's putting that population of people at very great risk doing that. What's wrong with this thing? Hold on.
And she didn't go under. She didn't go under.
You know how kids try to swim underwater when they're younger? They go under for like a quick second and come back up type shit.
Yeah. So she was under for a little. So she was trying to.
I'm going to play that back. Listen here. I want to make sure you hear this well.
And she didn't go under. She didn't go under.
You know how kids try to swim underwater when they're younger? They go under for like a quick second and come back up type shit.
Yeah. So she was under for a little. Yeah. So she was trying to stay under a bit longer. There's nothing wrong with that. So she didn't drown. No dry drowning. None of it.
I don't. Yeah, no, there was nothing like that. Playboy. Who's Playboy?
So you guys all remember when Allie said this Summer had gone over under for a whole minute, and Leslie Hill, who's passed, said no, it was 10 seconds. She corrected Allie's 1 minute where Hunter had to take off his shirt. I was talking about this with Betty earlier today because how many people in the chat, let me know this. All right, so if you were explaining a story and your child had gone under and you had to jump in after them, put a 1 in my chat if you would tell the story with, I had to take off my shirt and jump in the water, or would you just say you jumped in the water and grabbed the kid and saved them? Would you take the extra mile to say, took off my shirt and jumped into the water? And that I bypassed the fact that
it sounds like too much information.
It does sound like too much information, but I also bypassed the fact that he took off his shirt to jump in. I said myself earlier to Benny, I would have jumped in with my clothes on. There's not any time. You don't have time to take off a shirt, take off shoes, nothing. You just jump. You have to go jump in. You have seconds, okay? It takes 10 seconds to drown, okay? So.
But at the same time, it suggests to you that he's been out of the water and he's dry now.
Well, I wanted to know how many people would say that they ripped their shirt off to jump in, or that wouldn't, even they just leave it out. I would probably just leave that out. I thought it was strange, and it wasn't spoken about here in this what we're playing. It's just my memory recalling what was spoken about on Unmasked way back in the beginning. He looked in no hurry in Candace's film. Okay, but Kiko, so keep in mind that video could have been taken before. Somebody had said last night, a close friend of mine, something about the video also, but that's not, the video isn't when Summer allegedly went under, right? It's probably not. That video has nothing to do with, because it was news to us when they ever even spoke about this and Summer going under. So I think that his clothing was dry. His clothing. Oh, you're talking about in the video. Yeah, but the video could have been before that incident occurred, if it did occur. So I wouldn't count the video for anything. Do you know what I mean? Why would you take off your shirt? Emergency me, I give him grace on that because he's a kid. As a mom, we're not going to worry about taking off clothes or shoes. We're not going to give a shit, right? But he's a younger kid, so I kind of did take that into consideration. Like, well, I don't want to be too hard on him if, he took a shirt off to jump in the water. It is what it is. But most parents wouldn't do that. Now, he's going to have babies soon. I doubt he'll ever say like, well, I needed to take off my shirt to jump in the water. I'm sure he'd risk his life for his children, of course, right? Without worrying about the shirt. But I'm just thinking it is and what Benny had said a second ago, it does seem like a little too much detail for the circumstance. Anyhow.
She didn't go under. She didn't go on. You know how kids try to swim underwater when they're younger? They go under for like a quick second and come back up type shit. Yeah. So she was under for a little. So she was trying to stay under a bit longer. There's nothing wrong with it. So she didn't drown, none of it. Yeah, no, there was nothing like that. Playboy, who's Playboy?
He should have been flushed out at birth.
Oh, there it is, Benny. That's his daughter saying you should have been flushed down the toilet as a newborn baby. Concerning that, you know, a child would say that a newborn baby needed to be flushed down a toilet. Yikes. So.
It's just.
So Dad's been going on about Benny for like a while. Dad came on and he's like, what do you do about Benny? I'm like,
I don't know if this is relevant, so give me a sec.
he should have been flushed out.
He gonna come this way and he gonna come fishing and he gonna find himself either knocked out. So Michael speak too much time do all that.
Now, that's not relevant to this, but Hunter should definitely not be threatening people on the internet. Nobody should threaten anybody on the internet. Let me just play. Let me see. Give me one sec. Now, this here is extremely interesting to me. You guys remember when Candace said that the truck was baking hot? Her exact words were baking hot, but summer was cold and she wanted the window up. But do you guys remember that it was a warmer day, but summer was cool and she didn't, you guys all remember? This is what Hunter says.
Stroking the car? No, it wasn't even hot. It wasn't even that hot. They had the AC on.
They had the AC on, he said. Candace said they did not have the AC on. She doesn't use AC. I remember exactly what Candace said. She said that she doesn't never use the air conditioner. And I remember that because I don't know how she lives without the air conditioner. I don't like sweating. I get very uncomfortable in the heat. So I remembered Candace said they didn't use air conditioning. He says the AC was on. Suddenly the AC was on. So I don't know whether that's true or not, but I thought this was important as well.
Stroking the car? No, it wasn't even hot. No, it wasn't even that hot. They had the AC on. Was Don home when he called Candace? I mean, it's pretty obvious if he threw someone off the property. All right, so it wasn't work.
He says it's obvious if he kicks someone off the property.
No, he did go to work. I mean, it's pretty obvious if he threw someone off the property. All right, so it wasn't work that day? No, he did go to work. Okay. No, you're not blocked. Who's under the bus? Go ahead. Yeah, they ain't blocked. Well, no, go ahead. So he wasn't work, but he was home? Yeah. Okay. Okay. What's that got to do with it? You don't think she got kidnapped and wandering off property? I think he would have found her. But outside of that, homeboy. Yeah. So you said he was at work, but he was also home at the time who got kicked off property that day. Yeah, he was at the house. But that was like before they would drop me off. So that's like later in the day.
I'm gonna play that part one more time.
Okay. What's that got to do with it? No, you don't think she got kidnapped and wandering off property? I think they would have found her. But outside of that, homeboy. Yeah. So you said he was at work, but he was also home at the time who got kicked off property that day. Yeah, he was at the house. But that was like before they would drop me off. So that's like later in the day.
He says that was before they dropped me off, so it was later in the day. Can you help me out with that part? Because I don't understand, and I tried to understand earlier. I don't know if he misspoke, but anybody in the chat or Benny or whoever listen to this, because it makes no sense to me.
Yeah, he was at work, but he was also home at the time somebody got kicked off property.
Yeah, he was at the house. But that was like before they would drop me off. So that's like later in the day.
It was before they dropped him off, so it was later in the day. He's saying that.
So he was at work, but then he was home.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. What's that got to do with?
No, you don't think she got kidnapped and wandering off property? I think they would have found her. But outside of that, homeboy, yeah. So you said he was at work, but he was also home at the time somebody got kicked off property.
Yeah, he was at the house. But that was like before they would drop me off. So that's like later in the day.
Maybe Candace was hot if she had meds on board. No, she said Summer was. Candace said that Summer was cold. That Candace said she never uses air conditioner. And I'm only repeating what she said. And that Summer wanted the window up. So whether or not Candace said that the car was baking hot. So I remember she referred to the truck as baking hot, but Summer was cold. And I think like the weather that day would have been pretty warm. So what was it, 60? Forget what the temperature was that day now. I'm getting rusty. 64 in the morning, and I'll have to go back and look. Either way, Hunter's recollection of this is that he was dropped off at 3:30, not 2:30. So everything that we have heard about Hunter and what time he was dropped off is now changed. Along with this.
That was like.
Said he was at work, but he was also home at the time somebody got kicked off.
Yeah, he was at the house. But that was like before they would drop me off. So that's like later in the day.
How late in the day would it be before they dropped him off later in the day? If he got dropped off at 3:30, later in the day to me is like 4.
This is a level of inarticulateness. He's just not very articulate.
I don't think he's articulate, but at all. I think you're absolutely right. But how would he know anything going on their property later in the day?
So that was you got dropped off?
No, that's why I was getting dropped off.
That was while he was getting dropped off. So do you remember when Hunter said to Chris McDonough, do you remember where he said he was when Candace allegedly got that phone call from Dawn? He said Walgreens drive-through. Now the story changes.
No, that's why I was getting dropped off.
So now the phone call came while he was getting dropped off. These are all, the reason we're doing this is because they're differing statements from his first statements. So you guys can hear them for yourself. He's now saying that that phone call was made while he was getting dropped off. Why is it now when he was getting dropped off? And 2 years ago, it was in the drive-through.
Yeah, it's moving around. Everything's moving.
Everything. He went to say 2 p.m., I think, says Carl. How could he have been at work and still kick someone off the property? That's always
Correct.
been a big red flag for me. My insane world, Hunter's saying that Don was at work, left, went to the house, and went back.
It's both those things at the same time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, time who got kicked off property. No, you don't think she got kicked and wandered off property? What about her?
Sorry, hold on.
Was also home at the time somebody got who got kicked off property. So that was after you got dropped off.
No, that's why I was while I was getting dropped off.
Oh, all right. So he was home about that time. Well, fuck me.
Let me look at Hunter's face because I didn't hear him answer.
So he was home about that time. Well, fuck me.
He nodded his head. So Hunter is saying that Don was home around 3:30.
All I got to say,
Strange. This is strange.
just please leave my sister alone. My older
Then he
sister.
says, all I have to say is just please leave my sister alone. This has been his thing all day. His sister is sister. They came live about Summer, but he's complaining about anybody talking about his sister. No one, really talked about his sister. So
She's not doing it. I don't pay attention.
hold on.
I mean, I don't think they would just take one kid and not the other.
Okay, hold here.
I'm guessing. You could ask me what the time is, but I can give you answer. I don't really do time. You could ask me what the time is, but I don't pay attention. I don't do all that.
I don't pay attention. That's grown man kid stuff.
That's interesting though, because he's got no problem talking about these times.
But doesn't care enough to get them correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he doesn't pay attention.
That's cute.
Yeah. And he's explaining all of these different times and around what time, but he don't pay attention to time.
Didn't he just get through saying he doesn't get involved in the politics?
Yes.
We
didn't get to that one yet, I don't think.
Okay.
Did we? Did we play that one?
I think we did. He said
Yeah,
he
that
got
was
into
the first
politics
one.
pretty early, and then he got all into what I would consider politics.
Politics, yeah.
He's a politicking motherfucker, actually. Shit, boy. Double talking politicker.
It's strange. This is all a lot. It really is.
It's all the
And
come
I
on
hope,
game. Right?
again,
I'm gonna tell you what I'm not.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna show you what I am. That's what it is. I'm gonna tell you what I'm not and show you what I am.
I just want to know if anybody who shared this Cash App of Hunters out yesterday and spread it all over, or anybody who may have dumped out their last $5, because people are genuinely good and they do want to help when they hear that someone's in need, and they will give their last $5. That's the problem. And usually it's those who only have $5 in their pocket that give. It's people who have much less, who are far more willing to give their last $2 to someone if they needed it. And it's people like this that do take advantage of it. I just want to know if anybody regrets that yesterday or today after hearing what he did today and what he said today. I just would love to know. And I guess none of those people will probably ever admit it. They'll probably double, triple, quadruple down, in fact, and do it more. But
it's the oppositional defiance. They got no
yes.
choice.
Right.
They wouldn't be that way if they had a choice. They would find life would be much easier.
True. Very true.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they would just take one kid and not the other.
Yeah. How long did it stay? I didn't catch that day. Hold on. Shit be nuts. Did she eat that day? That you know of?
Yeah.
When you were with her? How long did it be inside of Priceless to go food shopping?
Like an hour and 30 minutes.
Oh, wow.
What took an hour and 30 minutes if Candace only got milk and cheese? Why was he sitting in the car at Priceless with Summer for an hour and 30 minutes? Yeah, I still don't know the answer. I don't know. But
Everybody's shedding loves and hugs, buddy.
this next one is, I believe, where he talks about Burger King and Summer eating French fries from Burger King.
All right.
That's what I think.
Ever met Robin?
I like your opinion. Well, I gotta say,
And I think Andrew may have known these things and never said anything. Like that's also like disconcerting, I would say.
I agree. Actually, Benny, that's a great point. I don't know what they've ever talked about together, what they haven't.
But I get the distinct feeling that he didn't know any of this stuff. Like Andrew's not in the loop like he wants everybody to think he is.
He may not know any of these things, or maybe he did know everything. It's who knows?
Yeah,
Who really
it's kind of
knows?
scary to think.
It sure is. A lot of these things are scary to think. I have a lot of questions when it comes to some of these characters over there, especially on the New York side.
I mean, you would think that something cataclysmic had to have happened in order to make this shift, and all these contradictions start to shine through on one day. Like, what actually
one
happened?
day, and it was while Allie is allegedly in the hospital.
This is crazy.
So Allie is admitted into the hospital, as far as we know. I don't know. And next thing you know, this is all coming out of his mouth the next day. Or we found out she was in the hospital yesterday, I think, because they said she was there the day before, something. I can't remember. Either way, this took 2.5 years to happen, and for Allie to be hospitalized, I guess, and for him to speak about all this.
your opinion don't matter. Yeah, I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, that came out from dude.
People want to know if you remember what she ate that day.
We went to Sonic, so she had food. Burger King.
Yeah, but
She always got fries from Burger King.
Hold on. I'm going to rewind this.
While you do that, also look at Dana's comment.
Yes. Okay, hold on one sec. I'm probably way behind on my comments. I'm genuinely worried for Hunty. Why do I say Hunty? Hunter's safety now, because he's saying things that could implicate other suspects now with the timeline and discrediting alibis. Dana, that is an absolutely a great comment. See, Andrew doesn't think about that, right? Now, I'll say again, I wish no harm on anyone. I'm not going to worry about this boy. I'm worried about Summer. And I understand anybody being genuinely worried for Hunter. As moms, I think, and dads, and even some people who are not moms and dads, they just have that immediate feeling of wanting to protect, right? I've kind of lost that here in this case when it comes to anyone else besides Summer. So it's difficult for me. Like, if now, and the reason I say that, Dana, is because if Hunter didn't say these things to law enforcement, they only came out here. I'm glad he said them. Regardless, I'm glad he said all these things and put himself out here like this. Unfortunately, yes, I do think is something to be genuinely concerned about, but his father is not concerned about it. Clearly not worried about his son's safety. And I don't know. Probably sound like a cold-hearted bitch to say that, but here we've got this cast of characters, and Summer's out here still missing somewhere. No one knows where she is, who did it, who has done what, when she's going to be returned, nothing. And yeah, he's doing all kinds of things over here. But what if he doesn't do this? What if this here leads to something for law enforcement? And if this didn't happen, Summer never receives justice, right? I'm not saying that's what's going on, but I'm just going to be thankful that he's opening his mouth and doing what he's doing so that they can actually maybe pull from whatever it is that Hunter is saying. And God bless him. I hope, everything goes well and nothing does happen to him or anything like that. I just want Summer found. I just want justice for Summer and for her to be treated the way that she deserves to be treated. And if that means, hey, I don't know, I'll probably just keep my mouth shut. I'm just going to shut up right now because I probably shouldn't say what I was about to. But it's so hard for me to put anybody else in front of her, and I can't do it. Like, I have to be thankful that he's doing this, wherever it might lead, because I guess I'm just that desperate for answers for Summer. It's I don't know what to say. Like, it's my own thought process, Summer is number one, of course, but still. And we also need Hunter to be safe and alive since he was one of the last ones with her that day. Dana, I agree. I really would like to know why Andrew would put his son in that position. Why would a father who's that far away too? It's not like Andrew can help him. He can't get in the car and bust a move. You know what I mean? Like, he's all the way over here. He not even help him with toilet paper, for fuck's sakes. So these are people who are just wanting and needing internet attention and fame. And at what cost? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. No, I hope that he does stay safe. But I'm also glad that he's saying what he is so that if this is important to the powers that be, they have everything they need. TZ says, so is he talking now that his mom is in the hospital? Because we are on year number 3 of Summer missing. Where has he been? I don't know. It's a great question.
Yeah, it is.
A Saturday doctor visit or hospital appointment? ? What's that mean? Saturday doctor visit or hospital appointment ? Like, if something emergent happened, he's nowhere. Yeah, Bridge, that's what I mean. Yeah, he doesn't even care. Dana cares more about his son's safety than he does.
Yeah, Julie. Look at Julie's comment.
What is it?
A Saturday doctor's visit or hospital appointment?
When?
For H, right?
I don't think so.
Then I guess I'm confused. June 4th. Oh, yeah. That's, yeah.
Oh, June 4th.
Yeah. The June 4th visit to the hospital and all that stuff.
I don't know anything about their hospital system. Do they have morning appointments possibly on Saturdays? I'm not sure. I don't know anything about that area.
There's something about the June 4th that I think is interesting because I think that.
Let me get it for you, Benny.
That dry run. We call it the dry run.
Hold on. I'll grab it.
There's something to that. Maybe it's just that maybe it just is nothing to Summer, but it's something else. And, I've said it before, like if the police come knocking on the wrong door, but the door they knock on, they got something going on inside. They're also going to behave. They might behave a little strange when the police come thinking they got something going on. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mhm.
you know, and it could be completely unrelated is the point, right? You go creeping around and people start acting strange, and, you know, people not certified to be looking at everything like they think they are, think,
Mhm.
oh, well, this person's lying. They must be involved in Summer's case. No, not necessarily at all. They could be lying because, you know, they're a scuzzball in some other area of life. You know what I'm saying?
Where did I put that? I had the screenshot earlier. Remember, I said to you, I was like, I'll save this in case. I don't know where I put that. The text from June 4th. Anyway, I guess.
We've all, yeah. I mean, I know everyone's seen it, but
Yeah, I know. I do like to pull it up though, especially if you're talking about it. Then I'll grab it. But I don't. I guess I didn't take a screenshot of it. That's okay.
yeah, a lot happened that day, Julie, for sure.
Let me see. What she said. June. What did she say?
Didn't Dotson join the church that day too? A lot occurred on that day.
On June 4th. I thought David Dotson had been at the church for a while. About wasn't it a year? Or am I wrong?
I'm not sure.
Oh gosh, I can't remember. Emergency me said Penny started our Discord that day. Yeah. That's the day that my God. That's the day that 423 Chase made his YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, June 4th was a weird day, I guess. 423 Chase. He just happened to know Chase on the case, possibly June 4th. Bridge, you just read my mind. I don't know when David Dotson joined the church. I don't remember. I thought he had been there established for a little bit, but I can't be sure anymore. Benny, could it be the actual day Summer went missing, but they waited June 15th to report it?
Well,
Honey Badger, she was last seen the Saturday. Sorry, she was asking you.
No, go ahead.
Summer was last seen outside of her household by her church, and it was Saturday at the garage sale that they had. So there is verified by her church congregation that she was seen on that Saturday before, and she was running around and having a great time and going up to people and talking to people and such. So that was the Saturday before she went missing. So what do you think, Benny?
Well, I know there was the ladies Cam and Allie actually they had actually filmed they went in with the cameras going while they were down there. I think it was the very first time they went in there, convinced them to go in there and talk to see if anyone that was working that day may have been working the day of the 15th. And there was a lady, she was, and said that she had seen Summer that day, that she had come in that day.
I remember that. I remember them saying that.
So it's, you know, now whether or not she did actually or didn't, you know, that's between her and God, but that was said, and Cam didn't put, I saw it, the video. It wasn't of the lady's face or anything. It was more of like her hands while she was talking. He was just kind of holding it. But she said, yeah, you know, they came and got the footage, the TBI, all of that stuff. So
when did Jody say she saw Summer outside that afternoon, Carrie Moody? I've never heard Jody say she saw Summer the afternoon of the 15th. I'm so sorry, Benny. Cut you right off.
that's all right.
Keep saying what you were saying.
Oh no, that was basically it. I mean, so I think that there, if you take that with the grain of salt, I think that there was actually someone that, you know, you could verify that saw her sometime on the 15th. So I digress.
I've never actually I've talked about Summer possibly of going missing before the 15th, but not in great detail. And I think I've done it maybe several times, if not less, like a really long time ago. And I guess I do that more so not like publicly on my channel. I've talked about it in private with like a group of people, but I don't ever, kind of one thing I never really did when it came to her disappearance, but I know that Dudley had said he believed something had happened on that Sunday. A lot of people feel like Summer had gone missing before, but I feel like TBI would have known that. There's got to, if you think about how many places they went that day, I would hope that the TBI and the FBI and Huggins County would have the intelligence, and I believe they do, to know whether Summer was there on the 15th. But I don't know. Who am I to say? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I don't even really know what to think about it, because I think it could be a possibility depending on what actually happened to her. But I really do believe that the last video of her was taken on the 15th at the swimming hole, and I do believe that occurred that very day, and I do think she went missing on the 15th. I do believe in the metadata on that video.
Mm-hmm.
I think if Ellie didn't see her that day, they would not give us the set date of... Yeah, Carrie Moody, I agree with you. She said that not long ago, Tiffany. JSB did say that somewhere, TM. Really? I have never heard her. Benny, you ever heard Jody say she saw Summer on the 15th in the afternoon?
Boy, I couldn't honestly say if I remember.
Yeah, I have not. Can somebody, I don't doubt anybody telling me things in the chat, but does someone have a link or somewhere I can find it?
She says she has a clip of it.
She does?
Yep.
Okay. Carrie Moody. Okay, thank you so much. I'll look for it, and I saw you were doing something the other day. Actually, I think we were watching Carrie Moody for a minute at some point. I thought JSB said she never heard the kids that after. Yes, that's what I always heard, Julie Porter. I still have concerns about his alibi for the 15th. Bridget C. Ellie hasn't ever verified Summer seen June 15th on camera. No, yes, Lady J, thank you very much. Chris McDonough said that Summer was seen on camera, and then he walked it back about a year later. So, yeah, you're right. Law enforcement has never said she was seen on June 15th. Never out of their mouths has that been said. But they did say that she disappeared on June 15th. So that's what I would probably, I would take away from their statement that Summer went missing on June 15th, that she was seen on June 15th. I would imagine. I think. Benny, what do you think?
I'm just reading along here.
No,
I don't know. I think there must have been enough to substantiate the fact that they could go ahead and release the day as the 15th. You know, that is very suggestive that someone in her life they could substantiate saw the child.
Alicia P said no. JSB said she saw Summer the 14th, not the 15th. Yep, Alicia P, that's what I've always remembered. She saw Summer. She said she saw Candace and the kids. She didn't even say Summer. She said Candace and the kids, and they were down by the creek the night before because they had to call the police on Jackie Dobbs.
Yeah.
So I do remember Jody saying she saw Summer the day before, absolutely, but I've never heard her say that she saw Summer on June 15th. Never, ever, ever. I have an overwhelming feeling about something, but I need to look up some things. Okay, Honey Badger. Dana says, it's always bothering me how Robin said David had gotten there earlier, but he made it seem like he drove together with Robin that night. I don't trust him. All right, hold on one sec. Let me play these last two. These clips of Hunter and Andrew.
Asking me if I
Let me make sure.
play him something. So I think, never met Robin.
All right, this one here.
Yeah, you knew about it. I mean, listen, we're pretty sure in warmer states they teach you about that shit.
I mean, yeah, I know what it is. I know what it is, but I just don't think it happened.
Yeah, I can say your your Chris McDonough interview was more scripted.
Who was it in the beginning that said that Hunter said that Chris McDonough's interview with him was a script? This is where the part is. I don't remember who it was anymore, but here it is so that you guys can actually hear it for yourselves, that it wasn't said that he read from a script or anything like that.
I should say.
Hold on.
I know what it is. I know what it is, but I just don't think it happened.
Yeah. I can honestly say your Chris McDonough interview was more scripted, I should say.
Yeah, it was more just like they asked stupid questions. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I can honestly say by the looks of that video, bro, Graham Bunn there was trying to fucking control the whole situation.
When nobody was home,
Do you know who named Allie's grandmother Grandbun? Andrew? It was me. It was me. Yeah. It's like people will come talk
Fine
shit to
job.
me in my comments and say, oof. And I'm like, they don't even know that I came up with that. They're always trying to bite my lines and use them against me and shit too. It's so funny. But yeah, I was just telling Benny that the other day too about Grandbun. So hold on. This is interesting here.
Was trying to fucking control the whole situation.
when nobody was home,
He ignores that completely. So when Andrew says that his great grandmother was trying to control the whole situation, he completely bypasses him, does not say a word, and starts reading the chat. She absolutely, definitely was controlling the whole situation. She knew all the answers. If you guys remember, Grandpa knew all the answers to every single question. She was correcting shit, steering the conversation certain ways. It was really wild.
Was trying to fucking control the whole situation.
when nobody was home, who saw the guy work? I don't know. Dude said he was home.
Okay. Someone asked him who saw the guy. He says, I don't know. I thought it was Don, Hunter.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I don't know.
That was trying to fucking control the whole situation.
When nobody was home, who saw the guy work? I don't know. Dude said he was home.
But that's what you just said, though. You said that he was home.
No, I said who saw the dude walking around when nobody was home? If nobody was home, how did you get what I'm saying?
He's quick with it, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a good save, Hunter, but it wasn't a win. Okay. It's interesting how Andrew, I've only counted twice though. He's put him on the spot. Kind of weird. Isn't it a weird dynamic here
It
when
really
he does
is.
that?
But I guess we've seen it enough times where, it's not shocking. But I think the people that, maybe missed the first installment, they, or even saw the first installment, whatever it was, once you saw this for the first time, kind of, going on and on by itself, you're like, holy shit. This isn't really what you want right here. You know what I mean? Like, this is not it.
I just want to make sure I answer this. Rebecca, didn't JSB say she saw Summer on the swing set that day? No. She didn't say that. It was that the boys told Jody that they last saw Summer at her swing set. So I just want to make sure that
When she quote unquote caught them
Yeah.
playing and not searching.
Yes, when she said that she saw them. They were down, like crouched down on the ground and looking down, right? Like they weren't searching for Summer. And then I can't remember. She said that the only one that looked up at her was the oldest brother. Yeah.
He was the speaker.
Yeah.
Which she thought was weird, she said.
Prayers up for the boys, please, in my chat, if you wouldn't mind. It's actually been a while since I've asked for prayers for the boys, and I would really appreciate that because I really worry about the things that they're probably being exposed to because of this platform and what people are doing here. I have no doubt things get back to them. They're old enough, and really worry about Summer's brothers a lot in that way. So if you could please think of them. And if you're not a praying person, just, keep them in your thoughts.
Yeah, nobody's home. You get what I'm saying?
All right. And then this one, this is the last one. We made it, Benny. We made it.
Mm-hmm.
It only took us 3 hours.
What it is. I know what it is, but I just don't think it happened.
Yeah. I can honestly say your your Chris McDonald interview was more scripted.
Hold on.
I guess. I don't know. He don't know. He wasn't in there. He wasn't at the crib. How he supposed to know what the boys are doing? No, wasn't walked over. Well,
yeah. Nah. She was not. It's so right, Andrew. I don't think this is a good idea. I don't think he was.
So if Donnie was at work, how did he call fucking Candace? Donnie was home.
No, I'm saying he said who saw the dude walking around when nobody was home. If nobody was home, how did?
All right, right
you get
here.
what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Why would I lie about something like that? But why did he say nobody was home?
Because Donnie's trying to say he was at work that whole time.
I don't think he was.
So if Donnie was at work, how did he call fucking Candace to tell her some dude was scoping up the property?
Exactly what I was gonna say. For a few minutes, no. It's so right, Andrew. I don't think this is a good idea.
Listen, it was not my idea. I fought with this man not to do this. This was all him.
Wait a minute. All of a sudden, that question, he doesn't feel like this is a good idea.
Mm-hmm. It's a person writing in the chat. It was
Oh, okay.
Yep,
Gotcha.
It was a person telling Andrew they didn't think it was a good idea. I'm pretty sure. I was behind on the live chat when I reported this by I think 20 minutes or so. But Someone in the chat said they didn't think it was a good idea, and Hunter was reading it.
Gotcha. Okay.
But he's so low. I understand completely why you would even think that, because he reads these comments like he's speaking them. Like, it's strange. It's hard actually to follow unless you're watching the chat. So I give you guys all our credit with not seeing it on the screen. But this is how I did it. I didn't write down timestamps. I just went and recorded everything that I thought was important instead.
A few minutes? No.
Hold on, let me go back just a little.
So if I was at work, how did he call fucking Candace to tell her some dude was stroking on the property?
Exactly what I was going to say. For a few minutes? No. It's so right, Andrew. I don't think this is a good idea.
Listen, it was not my idea. I fought with this man to do this. This was all him.
Nah. Shoot, no.
Burger King or Sonic first?
I'll be ready for all the questions from the retards.
Well, that's nice.
Well, listen, he's giving up what he can. So
I'll go over it. Boyle. Yeah.
Who's Boyle? Does he have a brother named Boyle? Listen to him, the way he's talking about Summer in the background. I missed this.
So
Boyle? What a name for someone in your household.
George.
Go to Burger King or Sonic first?
I'll be ready for all the questions from the retards.
Well, listen, he's giving up what he can. So
Summer this, summer that, blah, 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 he said.
Walk over it.
Get the fuck over it. Who is that?
Good question.
Is that's not Ericon, right?
I'm not sure.
I'm going to compare the voices. I'm pretty sure I know exactly who it is. And Andrew, remember that video from a very long time ago with your weirdo brother-in-law? I have a couple of those. If that's who it is, I think everyone should see his face and what it looks like after making comments like that about get the fuck over it. Interesting. Such an odd thing to say.
Yeah,
Is he one of the 12?
I do not know.
I bet he is. Weird. These people are very strange.
Yeah.
Did you guys go to Burger King that day?
Yeah, she got some food from Burger King. She always gets food. She gets fries. She loves fries. The boys was allegedly cleaning.
I guess. I don't know. You don't know. He wasn't in there. He wasn't at the crib. How are you supposed to know what the boys are doing?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, I mean, some of this shit's just repetitive BS. First time I hear about Betty. Fuck him. He ain't nothing.
He's something though, Andrew, because had he been nothing, you wouldn't have been so moved to put your son up on that live today, huh?
Yikes.
Yikes. He must be something. Hit a nerve, a big one.
Man.
And all of these lies or mistruths or storytelling, all these changes in the story of his, shit. There's literally 19 clips that I sat up here to play, and that all came out because of one person. That one person is that, that nothing burger Benny, right?
That's it. It's all my fault.
I think you did damn good with this shit. I don't know how it came to be, but
they're easy reads. It's not a very detailed psyop you got to run on them. you can get them to crack pretty easy.
I don't know. This was really wild the way it just happened, like boom.
Yeah. No, I think he saw me as like a viable threat in a different way, in a street element way, is how Hunter saw me, and it really made him step outside his element. And then
I
you
think
got what you
Andrew
got
made
today.
Hunter think that you know, like, I don't know if I think he influenced a lot of that, and he
Oh
kept
yeah, he
bringing
gassed
you
him up.
up.
Yeah, he gassed him up big time.
Yeah, he kept bringing you up, and I didn't record. I only recorded the parts about like summer. You know, there was, I think, one you guys heard where he was talking shit about Benny, but it went on throughout this whole entire stream. He was really trying to get Hunter to commiserate with him over Benny, and
Yep.
whatever it was that Benny said really did move them to do this. So
Sprung a trap, baby.
yep,
Right.
he laid a whole trap.
Yep.
But a drama.
Never heard. Candace has never mentioned. Well, then go. All I can say is just call the TV. I'll figure out what y'all want to figure out. I ain't got shit to do with it.
Oh,
In the
yes,
story.
you do have shit to do with it. You were with Summer that day, so everyone's a suspect. No one's been cleared, sir.
That's right.
Who's got the hots for your sister, man?
Until court, I don't got
See, I spoke too soon.
no court. What are you talking about? Until
So apparently, by you talking about this right now, apparently your mom being in the hospital was all bullshit. Right. I know about you. I told you this is bad guys is gonna be hell, and you don't want to listen to me. So
He's a
Backlash.
terrible exaggerator.
Yep, backlash is going to be hell. I don't think anybody has given Hunter hell at all here. Don't think this community is going to do that to him. Weird. I think Andrew wants it to be hell so that he has a reason to be a victim and he can make his son into a victim. But there's only one victim, and that victim is Summer.
Yep.
So I know all these people want to make themselves victims, but they can't.
Organized crime victims. Look at them.
They are criminals.
now we both get stuck with this.
He's happy to do this. I believe that fully. Andrew's like, no, we're both stuck with this. This is such bullshit. This is, to him, he's like, this is the beginning of a bunch of profitable live streams. That's what he's thinking.
Yeah, parental bonding.
Yeah, parental bonding. Well, it's funny because earlier someone had written in the chat and I forgot. And I don't remember who wrote it, but Andrew was talking about how Hunter is going to make a YouTube channel. And this must be the beginning of it. And I remember Andrew was talking about Hunter, possibly making his own channel eventually and whatnot, but that he didn't want anything to do with Andrew's channel. Suddenly he's here. So the time must be now. They are so disrespectful. The real Brenda. I agree with you. Exploit innocence, says Andrew. You are a father. It's your channel. You should be protecting your son, not exploiting him, because you knew everyone following Summer's disappearance wanted to hear from Hunter.
Yep.
Sergeant Blackrock. Hey. Oh my gosh. Tiffany Marie, I gotta go back home over the holidays. Went to Rogersville, rode down Ben Hill. No way. I gotta email you. I hope you've been well. I've missed you and haven't seen you in like a year. Hope you're good. Sergeant Blackrock I've known him for years. Comes from where I do, and he actually is from there. Doesn't live there currently anymore and hasn't been there for years, but he has roots there. And he's paid very close attention to Summer and cares very much about her. Let's see.
If y'all need proof, just go check the live from yesterday. I don't care what nobody. All right, so look, we're gonna lay off for the questions for a while since y'all want to sit here and say that all this is wrong.
It's Benny's ball.
Benny's.
Oh, you mean it's the people who care about and put Summer first, Andrew? Right.
Well, tell him to fucking drop his nuts and then come find me. That's all I gotta say.
Man, he won't drop his nuts. That you won't drop it.
And then it's on and on and on about Benny for about 20 whole minutes, which is, I didn't record, but that's it, you guys. So those are the things that I thought were important and Benny thought were important, and they all came from Andrew's live stream with Hunter today, and that's it. That's that. Like, those are all of the clips that I had, and I think that the live is probably really good where it is because it's been 3.5 hours and it's kind of a lot. And maybe after this, maybe even tomorrow, I could go through and put timestamps in the comment section. I could pin like where each major subject is. I wouldn't mind doing that for people so they could actually find things easier. And anything that you might need to clip or whatever, you're a creator, have like a small channel or anything like that, just take straight from here and use what you need. Comparisons to, I would say that comparisons to what Hunter said in the beginning to now, those are going to be very, very important when it comes to breaking it down. I have a couple, but this would take literally probably a whole day for me to go find all the things and put them together and stuff. I'm sure you're going to see a bunch of those. So, and when I do, if I see anybody make those, I'll definitely share them out. I think that's important. And thank you guys. And thank you, Benny. Benny, do you have anything that you want to say before we end this?
No, madam. Thank you for having me.
Madam. Okay.
All right.
Thank you, good sir.
Thank you, madam. Have a great night.
Okay. All right, guys. Thank you very much for showing up, for being here. Lippy. Hey. I'm like hours behind. She said, yeah, a little bit. Good to see you back in here, Lippy. All right. Thank you so much to my mods, too. You guys keep this place pretty normal, considering, and respectful and kind to Summer. And that I appreciate because this place is such a dump. I hope everybody has a good night. Stage Salute, don't get too excited because I don't plan to come back live for probably until something important. Summer is really the only thing that can drag me out sometimes. So, all right. So everybody be well and make sure you stay aware of all of the dishonest people around. Stop falling for all this bullshit, and please don't give anybody money who could have possibly harmed Summer. I can't believe we're still saying this today, 2.5 years later. Everybody have a good night. Lots of love and sweet dreams to you. Appreciate you guys. Goodbye.